Tonight is for showing the people the curve. And I want to welcome everybody tonight. Sorry I wasn't here last night. Things got kind of put back, so, but technically I did say a date and I posted it Monday night. Now, was it Monday midnight, after midnight? It was a whole day anyway. So anyway, we're here again. We're going to bring you some curvature, people, some lovely curvature. Me and Al went down to Leaf Docks in Edinburgh, right along the port. Usually a place people can't really get to be honest with you. Not many people walk along these parts of the shore. We've got some really, really good images once again, and obvious curvature. And it was good to be part of it this time, instead of just Al coming on my hangouts and showing me what he's found. It was good that we both met up, got the cameras. He had the P900, I had the Canon 500D. Both pretty good cameras, and we got brilliant footage. I think it was good stuff. So we'll show you exactly where we were standing, and Al K, who's joined us again, he's going to show us on Google Maps. All right, Al, how you doing tonight, mate?
All right, how you doing?
I've asked you already, but I'm going to be cheesy and ask you again. How you doing tonight, mate?
Oh, fantastic, mate, fantastic.
Good stuff. Right.
Yourself, how was your weekend?
Aye, it was all right until some guy wanted to go to the beach to take some photos. So I had to...
well, at least I didn't. At least I didn't offer to grease myself up and stone and speedos, mate.
Aye, that would have been a bit much, mate. That would have been a bit much. Anyway, we're just going to show people where we were on Sunday. We met up. It was a nice day, actually. It was, apart from the wind. The wind was pretty powerful, I've got to say. How did your video turn out, by the way? We were talking about your photos, but we...
Okay, a mixed bag. It's just when you're in a certain level of zoom, it's reasonable. But once you start getting into the extent of it, it's all over the place, you know.
Aye.
Still, still stuff there. It's you get the idea of it. The photos are better, obviously.
Can you still take it in a video editor and zoom in, and it'll still be cool? I mean, like I can't zoom as far as you, but I don't get as much shake. So when I take it back to the video editor, I can zoom in, okay, maybe just as far as you, but it's maybe not as good resolution, but I've not got all that shake. You know what I mean? Whereas you take your video back to edit it. Right.
I've not tried to actually edit the video. It's just sitting there as a file. Do you know what I mean? I've not taken it into anything to mess about with it. It's what you call it? Premiere Elements I've got on here. I know I can zoom in on stuff with it and all that, and it's got an image stabilization option on it. Right. It takes fucking ages to work, you know.
Is it like YouTube as well, where it's like that sway weird way? Yeah, when you get that image stabilization on YouTube and it just looks fucking weird, it's trying to compensate, and it distorts everything because it's trying to compensate for all the movement.
Have you seen that? It depends how much you tweak it. You know, you can get some funny looks, some weird looks on your images, but if you get the settings right, it's actually not bad. It's no something I've played about way too much, to be honest. I'll tell you the reason why I even tried using it was because I got a video of us riding about on the bike, and I wanted to share it. But then I realised that sometimes the speedometer might not have been too, it wouldn't have been very, what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know, mate.
Well, legal. You know what I mean?
Aye.
So I thought I was about with the motion tracking and stuff like that, and I did a wee overlay, and I thought, well, then obviously I need to track it, and the tracking was proving to be a bit difficult, so I tried stabilising it, then tracking it. You know what I mean? That's the only reason I used it.
Aye. So how do you rate the P900 compared to other cameras you've had?
Still got to learn my way around it. It's generally good. It's got a lot of features on it, but it's a lot of stuff aimed at, I think, point and shoot.
I think it's crazy
to make it easy.
I think it's crazy how you were using the P900 and you were trying to focus in on a tanker in the distance, and a seagull would photobomb you and it would take the whole image out of focus. I just think that's crazy how you can't just manually focus in. And even if a seagull goes,
that's what I'm saying. It does depend what you've got it set at, and you know, I've been messing about with these settings, and it just so happens that was the way I had it that day. You know, I could have messed around with it, but even when I've had it on manual focus, I do find it to be a bit, I don't know, it's just like a lack of feedback on it. I think I've been looking through some of the information on it, and there's an option to put a certain type of display on it, which is supposed to aid you with focusing, but I've not really got into, you know, properly testing everything out and getting to know my way around the camera, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I've been too busy to actually, you know, taking photos with it rather than actually sitting learning how the thing works.
Aye. Right, anyway,
I've been keeping it simple.
What have you got up here?
All right, so it's just to show everybody where we were the other day. So this is the general area, you know, the entire area that we're dealing with. So we were based in here, and most of the observation was across the water this way towards Kirkcaldy, with some stuff out this way towards Berwick. But just
this is the east side of Scotland. Like your other images from the last time,
they were on
the west coast. West coast. This is now the east coast people. So this is Al Kay going all over the place. Next to be up Aberdeen.
You never know, mate. I mean, you know the place better than me, obviously, but so this is where we first kind of headed out.
Aye.
And as you know, we had 2 elevation points. So at first we were standing, there's a wall running along here, and we had the tripod sat up on top of the wall, taking photographs, and then after we'd done a set of them there, we jumped over the wall, walked along a wee bit to find a lower place, because this is all rubble, and got ourselves down near the water here, in amongst the rubble.
I've got a photograph there. Aye, there we go. There's the old P900 on the left.
I'm just going to stop sharing.
There's my one. No, you can still share, mate. You can still share. I can flick between.
No, I'm just making sure that there's no mistakes, mate. That's all.
All right, but you can still continue to share. I can flick between the two. We can both share it at the same time.
While you're showing that, I'm going to open up some photos on mine anyway. So if you want to just.
Aye, so that's where we were. Down at the coastline, pretty close to the water. There's Alan's camera, the nice P900. This is quite a handy little part of the iPhone. You can take a screenshot of your elevation. This was 10 meters elevation when we were up near the wall, and we went down to the shoreline. We were 0 meters elevation, but because it doesn't measure in feet, we could have been still something like it must have been under a meter. So talking about maybe 2 feet, 3 feet above, less than 3 feet above sea level.
Aye, I mean, it was definitely a couple of feet, because we were obviously slightly elevated, you know, as in we weren't right in the water, and then there was the tripod height. So there's a couple of feet in it, but exactly how much I don't know.
There's the coordinates. There's the coordinates as well. If people want to actually slap in the coordinates to get exact where I was standing when I took this reading. And you can see here, the fucking water was almost in my lens. It was splashing against the rocks. We were close. We were committed, eh, mate? Right, what are you going to show us?
You certainly were.
You got water in your lens, did you? Look at that.
Aye, well, towards the end I did, aye.
Aye.
That was all right. If it happened at the beginning, I'd have been screwed. Because then all the rest of my stuff was back in the car, so.
Aye.
Yeah. Right. These photos are just loading up, mate.
I'll just show the people some other ones I took on the phone. This was at the last location at the lighthouse. That was a pretty good location, eh? But to say that was pretty awesome.
Actually, it was like something of a movie. It was epic.
It was pretty epic.
It's just taking forever, mate. I don't know what's going on.
Don't worry about it. There's the Canon 50D, well 500D, sorry. Keep calling it a 50D. This was me on the lighthouse at the last location. This is the other reading when we were down at the beach. It's got 0 meters elevation. northeast. There's the GPS. It was beautiful, man. Beautiful. We should have watched the sunset, actually, man. I think we should have watched it go right down. It couldn't have been that long.
Well, it would have been cool. Although my lens was buggered, so they've been greeting.
Is your pictures loaded yet, mate?
It's still going. I don't know why. It seems to be, kind of slow. Come on, man.
It's all right, man.
Well, I mean, just what I could do is I could quickly show that on Google Earth as well.
And I'll show the bridge as well to the people watching. I've got the images and bridge, and it's got the metadata, so you can see the date we took these on. You can see the settings and the camera, the white balance, the aperture, the resolution, the bit depth. All the details are here. So there's no higgery jiggery going on. These are genuine photos. They weren't fucking photoshopped. If anybody doubts it, just ask me and I'll send you the raw data if you need it. I'm sure Ali will be willing to do the same. Ali boy. I'll just call you Ali. Ali C. Instead of Ali B, I'll just call you Ali C.
Don't call me Ali anything.
Right, Ali C. Is your images loaded yet, Ali C? Because I can't see them yet.
No.
Is it still Google
While we're waiting, if you want to show us Google Earth, and
aye, you're there.
Right.
Google Earth.
So just what you were talking about there is after we did these main set of observations there, we walked all the way to the end here.
To the lighthouse.
So this is the lighthouse. So that is quite literally where you were taking photos.
I was actually
as well as up the top of it.
Standing on it. I was in front of it. Aye, right there. We photographed, but lighthouse to bridges. That's where I was particularly standing. Aye.
Which I've got a photograph of, and for another wee bit of orientation, North Queen's Ferry. This is the bridges over here.
And we need to remind the audience the third bridge isn't there, the new one, eh?
Aye.
Because I've got photos of the three bridges sort of all together in a row. Well, so will you, eh?
Aye. So if we zoom back out again, you can see. So this is the first area, and we were looking out across all this stuff, and then that's the second area, and we're mainly looking this way towards the bridges.
Yep.
I don't know if this is finished loading. Oh, looks like we're in business. Right. Just let us know when it's up.
Google Earth still up, man. Google Earth. You'll need to quit the Google Earth bit and then.
Jesus. Right. No bother, mate.
No bother.
See, you can't. Right. So when I don't want it to share something else, i.e. the Hangout, it shares it. But when I go to do that, it's fucking crazy, this thing. Right. That is.
Aye, that's us, mate. That's
right.
Us.
So this is just a wide angle shot from when we were standing up at the wall.
Aye, was this first shot, yeah.
It is hard to see much in this photograph, but you can.
What was amazing, Alan, before you go on, mate, sorry to interrupt, that we could probably see more with our eyeballs than we could with the camera at this point.
Aye, well,
I was actually stuff when you.
I remember this talking about that way, and I was going to kind of mention that as well, mate. So that's quite good that you mentioned it.
Aye, because
but
couldn't see.
Just as a point of note, if anybody looking at this picture, you can see that you can't really see features. You can see a wee bit of the land here, but in general, it looks mostly like just sea. But when you start zooming in, that's the boat that you'll see in the next picture, the Forewind, the big petrol tanker. Let me just move this across. So obviously you can see a bit more features in the land. You'll be able to, we've got photos of this part of looking up towards Berwick, but when you go the other way as well, let me just get this across. You can see the 2 rigs and the 2 tankers that were over this side. The kind of dark coloured tankers. So, you know, this looking at this one, I think is quite good because you can see, you know, right, well, there's the general area that we were looking at. And it's got most of what we were looking at in it. You know what I mean? But it also proves the point about what you were saying there. You know, when the camera zoomed right out, it looks like it can't see anything. It's like the angular resolution of the camera is much lower than what your eye is. When you're standing there looking at it in real life, the actual physical size of stuff is much bigger.
It's like the eyeball's better to a certain degree than the camera, and then the camera overtakes when it gets to the zoom. We can't zoom our eyeballs, but if we could, we'd be a lot better than the cameras, I think. If we could zoom our eyeballs.
This is what a lot of the videos that flat earthers claim are bringing boats back from the horizon is because you're only seeing what's in the camera. So this is what you're seeing because they're zoomed right out. You can't really make it out. But if you were standing there with that person, rather than looking through the camera and looking at the sea, you'd see the boat, you know. And then obviously when you zoom into the camera, you get a much better picture of it along the lines of that.
Aye.
But you know yourself when we were there, you know, it was visible, like say something like that to the eye.
Yep.
You know, it was very visible. It just wasn't, you know. Right. So it's all about the resolution of the camera, the different zoom levels, sort of thing. So it's a wee trick that they're playing on you. Yep. Is the point. You can compare that.
This photo a wee bit elevated. This wasn't right down at the shore. This was when we were at the wall. You took this one.
Aye, that's right. These are off. All the photos I've got loaded now are all from the up at the wall, the highest elevation.
Yep.
I don't know if you want to switch about, mate, and show your pictures of the same stuff.
Well, if you got something planned here, then now if you want to show us a succession of photographs, and then
I can show you a couple. Aye. So this was the tanker out in the water, which just quickly for reference, it's this wee bit here in the middle. So that's zooming in on that, and then just zooming in again to get more detail on it, so you can see the name of it, nice and easy there.
4 winds.
You can see where the water level appears to be. You can't really see the base of the hull. And then again, just no zoom fully in. A wee shot looking over towards the. I keep going to drag the photos around. Just a general sort of shot of a wee bit of the land.
That was North Berwick jutting it. Aye.
Looking out towards Berwick. Aye. And unfortunately, I don't think I've managed to catch the next wee bit I'm going to look at. But I noticed, see how you can just make out in the water. Hold on, I'm just going to zoom in a wee bit.
Is that Fiji Island?
You can make out there's something sticking up there. Well, I think it's just slightly to the left of that. Basically, I had noticed something, so that was what I zoomed in on, and it turned out to be this, which was Fiji Island, and you can obviously see this lighthouse on it, so it's very identifiable.
How far away was that island from where we were standing? Around? Are we looking Google Earth? A wee quick jump to Google Earth? Just show the audience how far that island was.
Can you see Google Earth?
No, right now.
Can you see Google Earth, or do you need to stop there? Right, give me a second, mate.
Sorry.
I'll do a quick measurement and then. Right, that's according to the measure I've just done. It's like 15.7 miles.
15.7 miles.
Aye.
But you're still quite high up, though. It said 10 meters elevation when I took that screenshot, so we're at least 10 meters here when we're taking this shot. It's 15 miles away.
Aye. If I just want to double check, in Google Earth, I don't think the elevation's accurate because I don't think it takes into account some of the features. So, like I noticed, for example, some of the buildings don't register the elevations separately from the ground they're on. So it's a bit of a guesstimate with Google Earth, but it's saying somewhere in the region of about 5 meters. So it's close, but not quite right.
Right.
Give me a sec, man. Scrolling a bit here. So like I said, the lighthouse on Phaedra, it won't give you the height yet, but it'll give you an estimate of the height of the land, I suppose, and you can compare it to that other bit. It's saying roughly the same, which I don't think's accurate. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
I don't think the island's that flat, so it's not. It really isn't. Over towards the lighthouse, it's saying about 10 meters, but again, that isn't accounting for the height of the lighthouse. So
still a good shot to
sorry,
get 15 miles away, man. I've got to say, it's still a good again. It's one of the most
15.
distant. Aye, 15. That's what I'm saying. It must be the most distant thing that you caught. Was it? That's further than Gifford House? Yeah.
Aye. It's definitely the furthest away thing.
Aye.
Are you wanting to see this, or will I just leave it on the photos?
See what?
Google Earth.
Aye. Show them what you're looking at. How far you're looking. Your line of sight where you're standing.
Aye.
It's the kind of thing I'd be interested in if I was watching myself. I'm like, well, how far away is that island on Google Earth? It's hard to visualize in your own mind. So it's good to see these.
Right, is that showing up?
Aye.
Right, so I've got the line drawn there, and you can see over here where it says, 15.76 miles. Obviously, it might not be like thoroughly accurate with the exact point on the land here because I was doing it while I was zoomed it. I'm off a wee bit, But as I say, when you look at the elevation, so if I go back to that, see if you look down in the bottom right hand corner of Google Earth,
meters.
it gives you like an elevation reading, but it's not really completely accurate. Especially, as I say, when you go out, like some bits don't seem to be registering in it. I noticed it when I was looking at some of the, like, see if you go to a building. Like, I think, let's say, if the Google streetcar's been past a house or something like that, you might get something. But if it's like something on private land and you only get a flat picture of it in Google Earth, you don't get any elevation on it. You know what I mean? So it's not really entirely useful for getting the elevation, but it gives you a rough idea.
So
it's obviously got, it's got the sea at 1 meter there, and then you come into the shore 2 meters, that kind of thing. So it's close, but
aye, it's an estimate. Right. It's an estimate, man. It's approximate.
Aye. So when you look at Phaedra, there's no much variation, I noticed. So it's like saying sort of 7, 8, 9 meters when I move around it. You know what I mean?
Aye.
But you can see from the photograph that it's peaked, and then the lighthouse is on that peak. You know what I mean? So it's registering about 10 meters for the kind of higher area, but then it's not got anything registering for the actual building. So you have to kind of take it as a guesstimate as being 10 meters anyway, just based on what it's doing elsewhere, and then you've got to add a few meters to the the height of the building. But the main thing is that you can obviously see that you can't see the whole island. Half the island's kind of cut off. So I'll just go stop this and go back to the photographs.
Aye, because really we see the lighthouse and you see a small bit of land, and then it's just sea. But when you look at the Google Earth, you see that
Aye, so you can see it. Obviously you're only seeing from so far up, and this is what I was saying about the shape of it. You can see it's peaked. So as far as the actual height it goes, I don't think it's really accurate when you're looking at it on Google Earth.
Aye, and you're elevated. There's still a good bit blocked, even though you're elevated. Did you get a shot of this when you were at the shore? Yeah, when you're in the waterline.
I'm trying to remember.
You probably couldn't see it, mate. I'm
thinking
the water.
Do you know what? I think you're right. I think I tried to. I was looking around there because I took a bunch of photos, like looking at the land and then working my way out, and I couldn't really see anything. I couldn't find the lighthouse again. So it was below the horizon once we were down at the lower elevation. But as you know, there was other stuff on the land, on parts of the, like looking along the coastline or whatever, there was some buildings that were, you can see submerged, and some of them are still visible in the lower elevation as well. So,
aye.
So, talking of that, there's not much to see here. It's just to give you, it's a fuzzy, crappy photo. It's just to show roughly where you're looking again, that you're looking at towards the end of the place, but you can't really see. There's no feature, there's no shoreline and houses and things like that. You can't really see much there.
Aye.
And then it's just working my way in. Same again, And even with this, so it's got a bit more detail in it. And you can see that there's that really hard line between the water and just a random point so far up. There's no shoreline at all.
No.
So obviously this is the wee bit I was pointing at earlier. It's obviously quite a recognisable bit. Let's keep right for where you're. Let's see. There you go. So this is just continually moving in, like to the right, if you like, when you're looking through the camera. So there's a good example. A building that's obviously that you're missing half of that building. The lower half is just not there.
Yep.
Maybe not half, like a third or something, but there's definitely, you can tell there's something missing.
It just looks submerged. It looks like a house that's had a flood around it, and it's got water around it, and it just looks sunk in the sea.
That's what it's like. It's looking at hurricane pictures, the aftermath of a hurricane. That's what it's like.
Aye, that's what it's like. That's what it looks like.
So this is moving further along again. So obviously, there's a slope here. The land goes up, and these are built higher. But god damn it, I keep going to use arrows when I can't. Sorry. Right. So, but if you look in the corner here,
aye.
You can just see, this lower building. There's, like half of that or whatever.
Yep.
So the only reason you're seeing these is because they're higher. They're elevated up higher. So then that's a wider shot showing more of this. It's just slight nudge to the right kind of thing. So this is what we were just looking at. Just spin a bit. Right, so this is that, what we were just looking at there, and then moving along to the right again, that's the building that we were just looking at a minute ago, so it gives you a bit of context sort of thing, what you're looking at. So you can see the difference between the houses that are raised higher up on the land to the ones that are down nearer the shoreline.
Aye.
They're definitely obscured, there's no doubt about it. Yep. This was looking the other way. So this was, yourself, this is what we were mostly taking photos of, actually, is looking over this way.
These were the best things to look at, to be honest, was the boats and the rigs. When you went up and down, the difference you could see again, like there was so much difference between being 10 meters elevation and sea level, and like some of the boats were nearly totally disappeared. Unreal. It's unreal. Amazing. I got quite kind of
just for layout purposes, you can see everything in here, So that's the further away rig, the closer rig, the closer there is to tankers, and the further away. And then there's another set of tankers that were identical. This one in the foreground, and this one it was over the back near this wind turbine.
Yep.
And then this is Inchkeith Island, which has also got the wee lighthouse on it and some buildings in the bottom here. So this, shot, it kind of encompasses everything that we're looking at. So now, like when we're looking at everything to the rest of the photos that are zoomed in and all the stuff you're going to show that you took, everybody should know like where it all is located and where it is in relationship to each other. You know what I mean?
Aye, Inchkeith Island was
this is like
island to us. It's the closest one of the sort of islands scattered across the Forth. This Inchkeith. This is the closest one.
And the rigs, I can show that in Google Earth if you want to do that, but the rigs, as you know, are over near sort of Buckhaven and Leaving, in it.
Aye.
These two.
Yep. I show the Google Earth if you want, mate.
Just keep everything right, so
everybody knows. Because it's hard for them to visualize. It's easy for us because we were there and but it's like building a picture for the people watching, how far we're looking, and
Right. So again, we were down here. That's Inchkeith Island there.
yep,
And the rigs, this wee dark patch here is where the rigs are.
yep.
So obviously, rigs are, you know, in the photo we were just looking at, the rigs are the sort of the rightmost objects or whatever. So everything else lies somewhere in this kind of area, at different, obviously different distances, but you know, roughly in this patch of water, basically, in front of Kirkcaldy and East Weems and all that kind of shit.
Aye.
So that's where we were, and that's what we're looking at.
Aye.
Right.
Aye, that's the general sort of idea we were looking over the water. Right. So do you want me to show some of my stuff, mate? You break.
Aye, that's what I was just going to say. If you're wanting to move on to something, then
Unless you were still in the flow of something.
you know what the problem is, mate, is once you get so many of these up on screen, you can't tell what the next one's going to be.
Well, I kind of put mine on Final Cut because I thought if I put on Final Cut, even after the hangout, I can make a video. I've got all the best ones on there, the editor, ready to just put a video as well after we finished doing the hangouts. Right. And I could have a hangout version and I could have just edited versions for people to watch if they don't want to listen to us.
Can you see this now?
Aye.
This is just, it's the same, more or less, same picture as last one. It's just slightly more zoomed in so you can see a bit more detail. So again, you can see a bit better now, the two rigs, the two boats, and then these two boats and the turbine.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember talking to you about this. I don't know if you got any photos of it, but there's another wee turbine just here.
Aye, I think I got that. I think I got it, mate.
Yeah. So say that's the general, that's going to be most of the features of all the photographs from this point on.
Aye.
So it's up to you, mate, if you're wanting to.
Well, that's what I said. I had, well, how many images did I have when I came back in? I had quite a few, but I've narrowed it down, mate, to about maybe a dozen comparisons. I mean, kind of like probably 24, but kind of like a dozen, like each in different ones. We'll have a look. We'll have a look at mine's, mate. Give you a wee break.
Hey,
right. I'll share my Final Cut. That's Final Cut. Righty-ho. Right. Can you see that,
Just a sec, buddy. I can see it.
Aye. Is it all right? Is it clear enough?
Aye, as I say, you can see the entire application, and it's taking off roughly about 3/4 of your screen.
3/4. Weird.
Aye.
Anyway, aye. Well, here's the photos of us where we were, the location. Oh, it's annoying. That's just some of the photographs we've already went through. Right. This is where it gets funky with the. Right. This was the tankers we were looking at. What were they called? The Four Winds. The Four Winds?
Four Wind was the one that, like the kind of one that was sitting on its own.
Aye.
Over to the right. But the two that were together, the sets of two that were together, I think the blue one that you could see closer to you was called Speciality. Can you make out the name of the further one? And then the other one was it Vos Patula or something like that was the nearest one. So the one on your left there was something like Vos Patula or something like that. And it's an LPG tanker, if I remember right.
Right. Well, this is an image of the tanker. I think this was a higher elevation. This was at the 10-meter elevation, and this is this is at the waterline, Alan. So you can see the one on the right is completely gone now. You can just see where the turbine is. You can just see here. There's wee white parts sticking up. That's actually the second tanker. It's under the water. It's gone.
That's crazy. Man. It's brilliant. That. It's amazing the difference.
See that? Like, the higher elevations, you can clearly see the first tanker, but it's nearly submerged there, and the second one's completely gone after I went down to the waterline.
That's right.
So you can see that.
So in the first picture, it's like they two have swapped places with it. You know, the way that sunk below, the closest one's almost the same.
Aye.
Once you moved into the second elevation, and that one, you can literally, when you look carefully, you can see a tiny wee bit sticking up to the right.
This is probably the highest point of the thing, and I think that tiny little bit there is a part of it as well. Because when I looked at the first picture, you can sort of see these white bits here. I think these are the only things left you can see after you go down to the waterline, and this is probably about 2 or 3 feet above the waterline.
Aye. Again, you know, because of what we were pointing out at the beginning as well about the camera, you know, with the naked eye, when you're standing at that elevation, you can see right across and see all this stuff.
Aye.
You know, obviously the stuff that's further away is a wee bit small, but you can still make it out quite clearly, like everything that we were looking at on the water with the aid of the camera.
So this was looking over at Fife with the cranes, getting these yellow cranes that we seen in this big building, this big warehouse type building. We could see it almost looks like a giant hangar. It's massive because you can see you see compared with the cranes, it's a huge building. That, but anyway, this was at the higher elevation. I took this picture, and this is at lower elevation, so you can see how much is missing. Like here, it looks like a little white rocket thing, and it's got these rust. It looks like these brown. I don't know what to describe them, but you can see the shoreline. You can almost see the embankment. This is at the high elevation, and then I'm doing it the waterline. All of it's all of it's gone. You know what I mean? So you can see there.
It's a bit blue looking, mate. That's soundly CGI material.
No, it's for some reason the water changes. The water would change colour. Okay, when the lower you go, the angle, kind of different angle you go, the light was changing on the water. So the higher you were, you had a more sort of lighter blue. And when you went
it's the electrolysis affecting your sensor. That's what it is.
Aye, but you can see the little see the little white building here on the left, the sort of warehouse, and it's got yellow things beside it.
You can see
left. Or look at
you can see what's below it and what's.
You can see what's below it. It looks like maybe.
You can see that.
Maybe I don't know if these are containers, steel containers or something, but you can see in that image they're completely gone and with the waterline and totally obstructed. So this is high, this is low, high, low, obstructed. This is curved.
It's great. I like the way you've been able to organise your pictures like this. Actually, it's pretty cool.
Aye, well, that's what I was kind of doing today. Here's another one looking over at
work.
This is another one looking over at Kinross again. Well, that leaving area, and you can see here there's the back. You can see there's a house here at the bottom left. It's got an embankment in front of it. You can see there's obviously earth or a bank going down to the water here. You can see there's still quite a lot. You can see quite a lot, 10 meters up. You'll see everything maybe. I'm not sure how much you should be able to see, but down at the water,
you can see it. Especially see the wee white building to the right with the 3 windies in it. It's quite noticeable. That one, it kind of stands out. So it's a good one to get with.
Aye. So you need to sort of go back and forth. It's like the blink test that Soundly done.
Aye.
You go back and forth, and you can see how much. Same with this building here. You see how much is underneath it. And then it's not a massive difference, but it is a difference.
Well, I mean, in terms of the distance you're looking at,
aye, because it isn't that far. What is it? About 7 miles? A couple
of meters or whatever.
Aye.
Must be around about 7. Aye, about 7 mile.
So we're looking at about 7 mile. This is 10 meters elevation. This is down at the waterline. So it's not dramatic because it's not that far away compared to your camera. Because I've not got the. But I think this, for some reason, these look better quality images than yours. Why is that?
Well, what's the thingy? What's the sensor on your camera again?
I don't know. A DSLR. Is that what?
No, like what kind of resolution is it?
Oh, mine's was. I think mine's was only 72 per square inch or something. My pictures. that was taking them out. I'm not sure.
Megapixels, mate.
What's that?
How many megapixels is your camera?
Megapixels. Fuck knows, mate.
Aye. You don't know? Fuck's sake.
Nah. Why should I know? I can go in the metadata and have a look if you want. Right, anyway, back to our observations. Back to our observations. Right, here's this blue tanker. What was it called? The Speciality. Aye, I think that's the Speciality.
The Speciality was the blue one at the front.
Aye, with the green bit.
It was the Speciality.
And it's got a red bit at the bottom. This was at 10 meters elevation, mate. This is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing quite a lot of it. Even seeing the bit at the front when it started to stick out, and the bit that cuts through the water, the red part at the front of the boat. But when you look at the one down at the waterline, there you go.
Right, all gone. And the other one, which is basically an identical boat, you can't see any of the. You can just basically see the bridge and stuff like that on that one.
Aye, that one there. Aye, on the left.
Aye.
Yep. Aye, it's just practically the bridge, the cabin. But you can see the difference. There it is again at high level. These are the tankers. Remember the tankers, the two tankers that we could see? Can you see it?
Aye, sorry.
You can see the stilt. You can see the stilts quite clearly, and you can see like the bottom of the stilts, getting the big sort of. It's like the big muckle bits at the bottom, big chunky bits. Like.
Aye, I've got some good photos of these, so it'd be good to compare them to yours. Actually, you'll be able to see them a bit.
That's down at like the waterline, so you can see how much we're losing there. Look.
Aye, that's a big difference.
And that's no.
You can just see the platform on the second one.
Aye. I don't know how many times we have to say this, and for Orphan Red or for anybody, it doesn't matter how much we zoom in here, they're never coming back.
Well, that's the thing. You've got yours zoomed in. That's what you can see. We'll see mine's in a minute, and I'm zoomed in much further. It doesn't make any difference to what's visible at all. It just makes it bigger.
But this is high elevation, low elevation, high elevation, low, and you can see the curve there. I mean, it does look a bit choppier, I've got to admit. The water looks a wee bit weird, but because you're lower down, you're picking up the sort of.
I was trying to say that a minute ago that this can be deceptive because you're zoomed in, and people might think like you've literally got the camera in the water, but you've shown the picture of where they were sitting. They're a good few feet above the water.
Aye,
and you can see from that point like right across everything. You know, it's no as if you've put it so low down that small waves are going to block your view. It's no like that. You know
it's still.
And the other thing is, there's no distortion in any of these photos.
No,
it was another good day for there's no refraction and all that shit.
Yep, a wee bit misty. You can see a wee bit mist above the water, but mist doesn't. It wasn't that heat, and it wasn't that wavy heat. It wasn't like the evaporated mist. It was like the sort of fog. It was like the fog that lies on the water, no the sort of evaporation mist that you get on hot days. It's sort of different kind of. But anyway, that's one of the most obvious ones with the tankers. I've got to say, like it's like they just sink. They sink with the water. And
it's ridiculous the difference in them. The legs are just completely gone, pretty much.
And this is even just Inchkeith Island we were looking at. You showed us on the map. And how far is it? A mile? Is it skin?
That's something like 3 miles or something. But obviously, if you do a horizon calculation, you should expect to lose a couple of feet.
But even then,
a couple of miles.
You're right, because we do lose a couple of feet. This is from 10 meters elevation, and you can see clearly. You can see right down to the water nearly. You can see the waves hitting the fucking shoreline on the rocks there. So we're 10 meters elevation. You see the whole lot. But even just from that distance going down, you can see you're losing some.
You lose a wee bit.
You do lose some. Look, you notice here with the buildings that are close to the water. See there, building on the left. You see how much the water raises up.
That's right. It kind of comes up to the base of it, kind of thing.
Aye. But you can.
I've got some pictures of them as well. So again, we'll be able to see that again. It's just that I don't have it because I've not got that program you're using or whatever. I've not got it laid out the same way. We can go straight between the two, but we'll still see it. There it is. You want me?
Aye. Well,
Point out where that is.
I'll let you jump in now with your. But this is, what was it called? Gifford House.
Gosford House, I think it was.
Gosford House. Right.
Aye.
Well, I'll let you screen share where this place is.
Let's see. Right, just you see, okay, aye.
Aye.
Right, so you can see I've got it marked over here, Gosford House. So it's over this way, looking towards Berwick. So if I rotate it around the way you would sort of be looking, you know.
Yep.
So everything you've been looking at was over the water here, but this is looking the other way. And this is Gosford House down here. And this is what the bit I think's really interesting about what's missing. It's no, I mean, you can see that half of that building is missing in your photograph.
Yeah.
But if you look at the lay of the land, you can actually see that all of this in front of the building is just gone.
Yep.
If we click on one of the photographs in Google Earth, you'll be able to see what the building should look like. And it's still, let me see, I'll click on that.
Sometimes they didn't present the photos on Google Earth when you press them on the
right.
for some reason. You might have to.
I'm just waiting on this loading up, so.
Aye, that's it there.
Can you see that?
Aye.
Right,
aye.
awesome.
Aye, we can see it.
Right, so that's what the building should look like. So if I, you know, now that you've got an idea of that, what I'll do is I'll just quickly
go into your one.
So we know what the building should look like, and just a wee reminder of what the actual, you know, everything that's in front of it before you get to the waterline. Obviously, that's out there, but you know what I mean. So you've got the road, these trees, all that land in between, the grounds, etc.
There's a good mile.
If I stop sharing, well, I'm not sure how far it is, but if I stop sharing, you can go back. You know what I mean? And
aye.
Now that we know what that looks like, you can see how it compares to what you can actually see.
So that's good that you gave the people an idea, because we had those sort of arches underneath, because it was that sort of Renaissance style architecture, the classical architecture, and it's half it.
There's a whole bottom level missing, because it should
all the
as well. It extended out further to the left and right at the lower levels, and you can't see any of that. You can't see any of the land at all that we just looked at. There's no road, there's no trees, there's no bugger all.
How far was this place from our observation point again?
How far? Give me a second, I'll tell you.
Well, it was a good distance. It was about 9 miles or something. Okay.
I think it was around about that.
That seems to be the sort of measurement right now, like 9 miles. Well, I suppose you got that 15-mile one at Feeder Island.
Aye, for this set of observations, 15 mile definitely. But the average it's been for the stuff that I've been looking at the last couple of weeks has been about 10 miles, and then obviously with the wind farms, I didn't know what the distance was, but having looked at it since, they're about 20 miles.
Did you come out far that house is?
Just looking it up, mate.
I'll have a quick picture. Looking that up, man. Slow.
I've got it at about 10.8 miles.
10.8 miles. That's a good distance, like.
Aye.
Good distance.
Yep.
Nice one.
And it's a safe fits with, you know, like you were saying, like the observations down at the Clyde. Looking, when I did that the other day, looking up towards Greenock and stuff like that. Remember I showed you the photos where I was looking through the corner to the other piece of land.
Aye.
That other piece of land, that was about 10 mile away. And then when I looked back up the river towards Erskine Bridge, I was looking about 9 mile-ish. So the similar sort of distances we're talking about. You're getting the same sort of level of obstruction.
So I could let's see. I'm still screen sharing. Right, I could jump to some of the video footage I took and compare what I've seen. This is a 10 meters elevation with the tankers and stuff. You can see the one on the right, it's already half buried, and this is even when we're 10 meters up, that's half buried.
Aye. I mean, that was one I remember, you know, when we were there the 2 days, you could see it.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you zoomed in it, it was actually awesome to see, like, just how bad it was.
And there's those tankers. You can see, still see the stilts that they stand on quite clearly. And you can see again that, is it Speciality, or I'm not sure what that one's called again. That tanker.
Speciality was the bluish one that was closest to us.
Aye.
Aye, on that side. I don't know about the name of the other one. It was too far away to resolve the name properly.
Aye, but that looked a wee bit different in colour, actually. It looked like a lighter blue.
The slight differences, I think it's overall the same sort of boat, but what's on the deck was slightly different.
Uh-huh. And there we go. We've got the orange ones. You can see the pair. It's like two pairs we were looking at. It was like the pair of orange ones and the pair of blue ones. Like they're both sort of together, and you had the rigs sort of in the middle of them.
Aye, it was actually quite good that they were sitting like that.
Aye.
You know, it's good reference points.
Right, I think this could be still high elevation.
Aye, it must be.
But it's just some what we're looking at over at leaving and stuff like that with her.
Just a wee second, mate. Just while you were showing, I've kind of clicked into my Internet Explorer to try and look at chat. There's somebody bitching in there.
That doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
I was just curious. The Skeptic Tudor saying it's no evidence of anything, which is weird. How long between the photos he presented? What does that mean?
I think they mean how long was it? We took the photos at high elevation, then we went down and took the photos at low elevation. So I think they're wondering.
5 minutes.
It was about 5-10 minutes, something like that.
No, I mean, like, if you look at the timestamps on your individual photographs, it was literally about 5 minutes between the first set and then moving and starting the second set.
Aye.
So obviously there's the length of time we were sat there taking the photographs, half an hour, whatever it might be, but from between one set and the next, it was literally like 5 minutes max.
Here's the cranes again in that big sort of building. Remember that big building, that big sort of hangar? It looks like a hangar. It must be somewhere where they build boats or something, with the cranes there. Don't know. But you can see this is still the high elevation. This is,
all these kind of areas down at the shore that you fuck knows what they're doing. I guess it's all somehow related to the trade, but exactly what they're doing, I don't know.
But you can see here in the video that you can see most of what's below it. You know what I mean? You see the building like the photograph. Because this is 10 meters up. So I'm just trying to adjust the focus. You can see most of the shoreline from that part, right? So this is down at the waterline now. It's a wee bit different. You can almost see what's this blue building again? Is that a building? This part here on the left? Is this a blue building again?
Hold on a minute.
Here's the cranes anyway. The crane's coming up, mate.
Sorry, it was just, see, when I'm looking at I was looking at the other version of this, the Hangout, it's like delayed from what you're actually looking at right now, so I was having to flick back and forward there.
So here's the video of that building again with the cranes. Look, you can see most of the.
It's just. It goes straight from the water to the building. There's no.
It's just water. So same again. This is the speciality at sea level. This is down because we're missing the red part, the bottom of it. And same with these were the two orange ones. Well, we can see one of them. We can only see one. The second one's totally gone now. Do you get what I mean? I can't even see the second one. This is down at sea level.
And unless you can zoom in even further. You can literally, you barely see anything. If you look really carefully, you can just spot a tiny wee flash of white or something for like an aerial or something on top of it.
You spot the second blue. You got the two pairs of the blue ones, but that's just visible in the distance there. And then you got the tank there, which are no stilts at all. You know what I mean? it's just the same as the photographs, but we've got a video version. So there's that wee turbine you were talking about. Remember, you thought that I never.
Aye, that's right. V1. Aye.
And there's obviously the orange.
Which was basically always missing something.
And this is orange tanker, and the other tanker I'm sure is here, beside the turbine, but it's underneath.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. See, if you're like, if you know what you're looking for and you look really carefully, you can see a tiny wee blob of white.
Aye,
to the right of it, and that's that is the only part of it that can be seen.
That's this part here, but away. So that's completely disappeared. That's behind the curve. That's gone. It's behind the curve.
When I was flicking through the photographs last night, trying to organise them a bit so that we could do this tonight, I tried to quickly look up some of the boat names.
Aye.
And some of them, they weren't. One of them, I think, is I don't know if it's just waiting a long time or if it's a permanent feature or whatever. But it was like, pretty much in the same places when we were looking at it. Another one had moved, but only a small amount, and then the others two or whatever were just like a couple of miles away. So they're doing some kind of run. So they couldn't get like the exact same positions on them all as when we were taking the photographs. So unfortunately, I can't say like that one was, say, 5 mile away and that one was 7 mile away or whatever. They weren't in the same location, obviously, so I couldn't judge it.
Aye, but we've shown on.
And I'm not going to pay loads of money to register with an EIS site to get the historical tracking data.
Well, that's me kind of went through what I've observed. I had lots more, but those were kind of the best out of the lot of them. Of the tankers, the oil rigs, some of the buildings over in Leven. So what I've really got left from that day is the bridges, and I'll leave that for at the end. So if you want to go through what I've just looked at, and your observations with the P900, my observations with was with the Canon 500D. I was using the P900, so aye.
Right, well, what I'll do is, because I've not been able to put them side by side like you, I'll just kind of flick through the ones I've got here. You see that okay?
Aye, see that fine.
So obviously, based on everything we've showed so far, we should know, everybody should know what we're looking at. So these are the two kind of blue tankers, only a bit more zoomed in. Mm-hmm. I've got, there'll be others where I've looked at them again, but it gives you a bit more idea of the detail on them. So you can even at that, you can see the name speciality on this one.
Aye.
And you can see, as you were pointing out, how much of the keel or whatever that you can see.
Oh.
And then obviously this one further away, you're not seeing that part, the lower part of the boat.
But you're still seeing almost under the green part. You can, in the middle of the boat, you've got that blue strip underneath the green. You're still seeing that.
Aye, that's the shape of the boat that dips down and then up again.
Aye.
It's the actual shape of it. See it?
Aye. Yep.
So the bit in the middle is like on the boat, on deck or whatever. So, get a good idea where they are in relation to each other and how much each one you can see anyway from the photos. But I'll need to, apologise for whatever order all these are in. I might have been moving around quite a lot.
That's all right, man.
Some of them might not be, just different zoom levels on the same thing. When I zoom in on this one, I can almost read it, but can't. I was hoping to get the name of it, but I couldn't make it out. There's still a reasonable amount of detail there, so there's really no confusion about how much you're seeing anyway. That's for sure. That was that wee turbine.
Aye, we were looking at the wee one.
And as a wee frame of reference there, a boy floating on top of the water, which is obviously the water level.
Yep. And
you're not seeing the base of the land and the turbine itself and stuff like that.
No, it's a good photograph, man.
Right, so this is moving over to the left to the tankers you were just looking at last.
Aye.
Say Coral Patula, it was not Voss, that was something else I was looking at. Coral Patula. is the name of the closest of the two red tankers.
Orange.
I'm sure I've got better photos than this.
Orange.
Red, orange, whatever. Right. So, so that's a good, that's the two of them in shot, and obviously slightly better zoom level, so we can see the difference between the two.
Aye. And this is view still elevated, eh?
I mean, this is still the elevated position.
Aye.
So again, with this one, you can see, if you look there, you can see this the lower part of the keel or whatever.
Is that the actual keel, or is that a mirrored sort of reflection? Is it?
No, it's definitely the shape of the boat. It's definitely the shape of the boat. Right, and then just concentrating on this one. Now, when I zoom in on this, you can just see that the water level is pretty much up, like just slightly below where the writing would be on the boat. You can see the writing there.
Yep.
So, and obviously we know the shape of them, so we know this bit that dips below in the middle has actually dipped right below the water and everything. So it's just, it's impossible to claim anything other than that. And the resolution's pretty good, because you can even tell, if you know your logos, that that's a Samsung turbine just by looking at that.
Yep. That's pretty obvious obstruction we're seeing here, man. And if it's not with the further boats, we can still see a lot of the close boats. As soon as you go down to water level, they become like the boats that you can't see in the distance. It's like everything just keeps dropping, getting obstructed. So what's that? The RT.
Right there. It's just that. There you go. So that's that closer boat. We zoom in so you can really see it now. Shite. And these arrow buttons. So as I was saying earlier, it's an LPG tanker. You can literally see that there. But I looked it up as well. I looked up the name of it, and that's what it's listed as.
Oh, and
so that's what I was saying. You can see just how much of the boat you can see.
That's not a mirrored reflection. That's the actual boat. That's the physical fucking boat there.
You can see the height markings up the side here.
Yep.
The anchor, the lot. You can see it all. You can even see the chains. You can see the chains from it.
Aye.
Front here. So there's absolutely no distortion whatsoever on this thing. And then this is the other one, obviously.
This is wee buddy beside
obviously, it's further away, so it's not as sharp and all that, but it's still another good comparison. There's probably some better photos here and there. It's just I don't know what bloody order they're in. Okay, it's just another wide shot. Let's see. I think it was just I do this sometimes when I take these photos. I'll take like a wide shot and then zoom in a bit, then zoom in a bit, and just to get an idea what it's like.
Aye, I've done a couple.
If you're standing there, to see how it all comes into view. You know what I mean? Which again is going back to what we were talking about earlier. Zooming does nothing to change how much you see. It just does this. It just makes everything bigger and easier to see. But the position of something in the water doesn't change at all.
No, it's not going to.
This whole perspective argument, all that is, and trying to claim that somehow the angular size of an object magically, although it all decreases uniformly at distance, that all of a sudden at some unspecified distance, the lower half of it starts shrinking more than the rest of it. It's a load of shit. It's just one of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
We could see this by eye standing on the shore. And we could see
that
there was only a part of a boat there and the full boat, and we could see that with our own eyes. So we could actually physically see obstruction standing on that shore. It's just you never try to look for it, really. And you think you've never seen it because you've never tried to look for it. But we could see this.
In this one, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. You can obviously see, for reference, this is the front boat, and then you can see the level of the houses in the background. That's a roof there.
Aye.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, again, another wee, like a double observation, if you like, to see how much it changes over distance.
Have a wee look in chat. Kicking a bit.
A clear one there.
That's a good picture, mate.
Oh, you see it pretty well, and then again see these hussies in the background.
Aye, sunk in the sea.
Again, obviously the boat is floating on the bloody water. You know what I mean? And the hussies have got to be higher up on the land. That's actually a clearer one, but we'll just skip it. See, that's what I'm saying. The way this thing's laid out, it's a nightmare. Can I just go flick, 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 and get to whatever's best? Right, there's quite a good clearer shot of this. The other one was a wee bit fuzzier.
Aye. Aye.
So you can see, you can actually see the colour in the base of the turbine there as well. You can see there's like the yellow for the foot, kind of area of it. Aye.
Is that even a strut at the bottom that sticks out? Like a little support beam? So you're going across it? Aye. And on the other side, kind of like a support.
It does look like that, aye.
Aye. So we're seeing practically the bottom of it,
eh? That'll be handy, you know, for any other photos we've got to get from the lower elevation.
You're seeing the bottom of the turbine, but you're seeing half of the tanker.
Well, that's the thing. You're seeing part of the bottom of the turbine. You won't be seeing it all. You know what I
mean?
Nah. That's just mere land obscure. You know what I mean? That looks a bit fuzzy. Don't know how that's.
Is that doing at sea level, or is that still elevated?
No, these are all the elevated.
All elevated, right? Cool.
Aye. Again, I kept trying to zoom in on this, and you just can't make out the name of it. It's a wee bit too fuzzy.
Since Camillo's in the house.
Ah, here we go. So the oil rigs.
Aye.
You can see a bit. Obviously, yours was only zoomed in so far, so now you can get a better idea of what the features are like. So you can see, I know you were pointing out earlier, these kind of the greyer lower areas are kind of grey.
Aye.
And when I was kind of flicking through the photos to sort them, I noticed if you look at the shape of the spars here, you can see this point here where they cross.
Yep.
Right. So this is the one. Unless I'm getting mixed up, this should be the one on the left, which is the one closest to you. Right.
Right.
This thing's a pain. Sorry, that's the two of them side by side. But even if I zoom in on that photo, you can see it fairly well. That you've got the grey areas in that on this one, but you can't see them on that one. But I've got individual photos. Sorry, it's just I don't know what bloody order they're in.
Right.
That's another one. Jesus.
Said I'll just.
It's got to be an easy way to do this.
Ryan chat. Jeremy's here, man. That's the kind of guys you want in the chat, Jeremy. This stuff. Twitwit's here saying most congenial globetrotter.
Right. This might not be the best picture, but it's just the first one that's come up. Just it's a bit hazy, but I know I've got a better picture of these things. But just again, you can see, you know, none of that lower half, the stanchions or whatever is visible. You know, where it changes colour and goes grey.
Yep. It's just,
I'm sure I got a better picture, mate. Give me a sec. Well, I remember when I was like flicking through them, I noticed that you couldn't see the point where it crossed over.
Aye.
Like you could in the other one as well. So it was like two different points on it.
There in the middle, it's just crossed. It does kind of the cross, and they start to cross again. They go like that. You can see it's just like that there. Those photos instead of joining again.
It's going to be a better way. The bottom. Shit. Obviously I've got several pictures of these because I was trying to get better, you know, sharper pictures of them.
Aye.
And I think if you remember right, you know, the sun came out and started lighting them up, so it was making it better to get photos of them, so you could see the detail on them.
Oh, it's clear. You can see that clearly.
I'm just trying to get the good picture of the second one, and it seems to be the first one for some reason. And dual shots like that. I know I know I did it, but it's just, you know, obviously I do that. I take several photos in case some of them turn out shite. Oh, bugger off.
I deleted quite a few. I was cutting a lot of fat in my one. Yeah, and I was going through all the photos, and there was
Oh.
quite a lot of what to keep, but I thought they were just causing confusion if I keep them. And even though they were nice looking photos, they weren't really relevant to what I was looking at.
Aye. Of course, say I did what I could last night because I thought we were going on last night, and I've not done anything with it today. You know what I mean? I think I must have actually. I've either no done it or I've done a bunch of other photos and then come back to it.
Aye.
You know what I mean?
It's Gareth Walton's in the house. He's a local boy. I'm sure he's from Edinburgh.
Ah, how you doing, Gareth?
Sam Hancock, Jovan Trendmaker, D-Truth, Sinskimillo, Carol Andrazzi, or Andre, is it Anders Ace, maybe. Oh, look at that! Look at that boy, yeah.
Aye.
And it's so crisp compared to everyone else.
It actually almost looks fake, doesn't it?
It's because of the focus, man. I bet you the camera was using all its power to focus on that one boy when really is it evaluative metering? I think it's called in your camera, where it either focuses in the center or it can take a whole lot. Again, I think you need to adjust something on your camera, mate, when it comes to the evaluative metering. Because
obviously, as I say, I still need to play a bit with it and sort it out. But right, so these are obviously you were looking at these earlier. And then you're high and low elevation, but obviously this just gives us a wee bit more detail on what's actually sitting below all this stuff.
Aye.
So you can see that a bit better.
Oh, you can even see there's a wee. What the fuck's that? It's like a wee. Below the crate.
It looks as if, see this bit on the left, that actually looks like it might be a wee barge.
Aye.
What do you reckon?
A barge.
Just a basic barge.
I think it's maybe.
No,
I'm not sure, mate. Maybe something.
That's the bit that was basically disappearing on yours, wasn't it?
Because I think they must build boats. It must be like a shipbuilding yard or something like that. Because they must make boats in that big hangar. Looks like a big hangar. And maybe, like you said, that's a barge and they push it out with that or something. But anyway, the point is that you can see a lot more below it at a high elevation. You can see tons of shit. You can see the embankment. You can see what is that? Flood barriers or something? What's this down right at the bottom left of the crane? It's got little holes. It's like a little passageway. It's like a grill. It's like a grill on a curb. See it?
Honestly, I see it. It does stone it, but I'm not sure exactly what it is.
But you can see the detail. That'll be gone. That'll be gone with the sea level photographs. Obviously.
Fortunately, there's not as many in the next set anyway, but I'll just keep flicking through these because it'll be all much the same stuff. I don't need to like dwell on them. You'll be able to see what's in them anyway if I just flick through.
Well, that's what I was trying to do, mate. Again, it seemed a bit short, but I was just trying to keep it concise. Again, like look at this at high elevation, look at this at low elevation. I didn't want to go on too much about it because it's quite obvious when you look at it.
Aye,
pretty obvious.
But what do you call it? This layout, the way this Photoshop does it, it opens up all these tabs across the top, but once it gets so many, you can't you can't just skip through the tabs. You have to start going through the list, and it's never goes. Like when you click on it, it doesn't go to the one you're on. You have to scroll right down till you find it. It's fucking piss poor design. I knew I had more pictures of these things, so that's the two of them lit up.
Aye. You can see them quite clear. So actually, you can even see the second. You can actually see the second one's stilts better in this one as well. Can the bottom of the stilts? You can remember you couldn't really see them in your first image of them, and now you can actually.
That's right, but see when you look at you can see a slight difference there. So it's like where these two, you can see where they start to join.
Aye.
Cross over. You can't see that join
like
on this one.
A wishbone.
Aye.
Aye. Right,
if you go, I would just obviously try to get good quality pictures of it. You know what I mean? So I'll probably have a couple of these, but just to because it's quite well zoomed in and everything quite clear. It's good. You can see the difference,
and you can see the height drop. And you can see it dropping in height. These things are about probably the same size exactly. They're probably specified the same size. The size of the middle of the rig. And you can see there's a drop. If you look at, you see there's a drop. So. Aye, it's quite obvious, mate. Good shots though. And there's no refraction or haze or anything like that. Nothing.
No, nothing like
No
that at all.
mirroring effect or mirage or anything like that.
Shit. Oh, there you go. That's a good clear one.
The bird's nearly
Yeah.
ruined. Aye.
That's a good shot though.
I also guess his jet.
Just there.
I was there. You can even see the numbers. Is that numbers at the bottom of the stilts, like 570 or something in the white? See the bottom of the
somewhat. Aye.
Pretty cool. Right, you keep showing the viewers.
Try to get through them.
Mate, I'm going to. We'll be back in a minute.
Oh, you fucking off.
I'll be back in a minute.
No bother.
You've
as long
got
as people realise I can't even.
You've got control now, so just behave, right? Didn't show any porn or that.
We made a pact. Sorry about this. Anybody that's watching, it's just like there's obviously lots of photos the same here. It's just because I haven't had time to properly sort through everything and strip it all down. I just all I've done really is get through and deleted all the fuzzy ones and stuff like that. So as I was explaining to Jed, just the layout with this photo editor, I have to keep scrolling down to move to the next photograph. So it's a bit of a slow process. If I could speed it up, I would. When I try to open it in the other photo editor, it just doesn't let me display that on Google Hangouts for some reason. So that would actually be the better one to use. And Jed had his all laid out so that you could just quickly, he moved them so that the high and low elevation shots were all next to each other. I'm having to open them up in groups. So these are all high elevation shots. So you can, obviously in some instances like this, with the stuff that's closer to you, you can see some of the stuff that's actually close to the water. But in the other set of shots, a lot of this stuff will be below the horizon. Nearly done with it. There's no order to these either. Once I get through these anyway, I'll get the next setup opened up and you'll be able to compare to the others. All these were all high elevations, I say. So if anybody missed it, unfortunately, you'll need to maybe go back and look at the Hangout again, because obviously it'll take forever to go and flick through them all. But there's just a couple of features out in the water. See if I can maybe, for anybody that wasn't here, just quickly show you the basic layout before I put all this away. So right at the beginning, kind of just to show everybody where we were looking at, this was literally, we were looking from this point at high elevation. It was, well, roughly about 10 meters according to the app on Jed's phone. We had the tripods up on a wall, and this whole area here is pretty much what we're looking at through all the photos. And you can just roughly make stuff out in it. So this is the forewind, the ship that we were looking at. And then over to this side is all the stuff you've just been seeing is flicking through, the tankers and the oil rigs and stuff like that. So it's just to give you a rough idea of the layout before I close all this. It'll take a wee minute for it to load up the next set of photographs though. So I'm just going to stop sharing. And I'll get this stuff loaded up.
I'm back.
Good. I've literally just closed down the first set of photographs there, and I'm about to open up the next set.
Nice.
I don't know if there's anything else you want to talk about or whatever while I'm arsing about.
I was just going to have a wee recap. So all those photos you showed were high elevation, eh?
Aye.
Aye, and what kind of tips would you give people, kind of if they're going to do this thing themselves? Like, remember the first time we were going to do it, and we ended up just scouting the area because we never charged our battery, we never cleared our SIM cards. So I suppose like preparation is always the best advice if you're going to do these things.
That's what I will.
And figuring out where you're
be a
going to
spanner
go.
and forget obvious things like batteries and SD cards. But it's good to maybe do a wee bit of like find an area that you've got an idea about where you can get the view lines, the sight line, sorry, where like so we looked at, you had thought about going there, but first we went into Google Earth to see if we could get a view from one place to another and what the distances would be, you know, that kind of stuff.
And access as well.
But obviously,
like, is there access to the public? And we can look at these things and go, we're going there, but how do we know we can actually get access to these places? Because look what happened at the bridge. We went right up to the bridge and I was like walking along it before a security guard came running out. Ken, you need to be, you need to sort of do a recon and find out if it's legal where you're going and if you can actually stand there. Because I was going to go along that second pier we were at Leith, and there was access close to the public, so I had to go along the pier with the lighthouse. So my advice is like just prepare yourself, charge your batteries, make sure your SIM cards are formatted in your cameras, take a nice tripod, a decent tripod. We've got sort of average ones, but it's still done the job considering the wind that was there. So that's kind of my advice if they want to go curve hunting. I call it curve hunting.
Well, I'm glad you didn't say ball hunting.
Just curve hunting. I like curves.
Okay, hell, man, I'm looking through my photos here to load them up, and there seems to be a bunch of stuff that shouldn't be in it still in it.
Well, stop looking through them and show us them. Show us.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to
show us you're looking through.
No, I'm trying to load them up, and no, it's bad enough having to sit and wait for us flicking through the list of why I need to do it. Jesus Christ, it takes forever.
And you'll need to get yourself a wee bit of software, like maybe some kind of program like
well,
that.
The thing is, just the default program with Windows, that opens up fine and I can flick through, but for some fucking reason, Google Hangouts won't show it as an application on here.
Aye.
So I'm not really sure why that is. Else I could be much quicker. I can just sit and tap an arrow key and flick through. You know what I mean? It'd be much, much better.
I'll just
these lots. This second lot's just loading up.
I'll just screen share the part of the iPhone as well that you can use. This is just another wee tip for people. If you've got an iPhone, if you've got the compass on the iPhone, if you just swipe it to the left, you can get a level as well, which is pretty cool. But on the compass, you've got the elevation and you've got the coordinates as well, which is really handy. So that was pretty cool. What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at P-Mars that he's fucking calling me Ali B, who he arse.
It's Ali C. This is a new Ali C. It's Ali Curve. So it's Ali Curve. Ali C. You'll embrace that name, I know you will. Ali.
No call him as Ali.
Ali C. Aye, Ali C is quite a good name. I get your photos up. It's getting late.
No, man, it's still
You'll be boring Timmy. You'll be boring Timmy to sleep here, mate.
Well, that was actually
Did you see how concise I was? I was that concise because I know I don't know what to bore people. That's not my tactic.
But see, I'm keeping quiet and forcing you to have to speak, and then you start talking pish, so you will be boring people.
Aye. Suppose you're right there.
Fuck wiki day, mate. There's fuck all happening. I'm waiting on this stupid software. It's annoying.
I need to have these hangouts as well. I like to have my rants and I like to have my wee drama. A bit of drama, but I like to do the serious stuff as well and present evidence. So I want to mix it up. I want to keep it again. I want to have a laugh with the people that are involved in the community. Have a drink with them. Have a good just say what's on my mind. And I want to do these hangouts where we're actually doing observations and looking at stuff. And so it's a good mix. It's not just drama. We're bringing evidence and drama. Well, I am anyway. The drama as well. So it's a good mix here, guys.
It's nearly, sort of nearly there. those.
That's pretty lame. What kind of computer are you using? Commodore 64?
It's a Spin 3.
Spectrum?
A Spin 3. A Spectrum. It's taking ages, man. I was trying to look at chat while I was waiting on it.
Aye. Didn't look at chat. They're evil. P-Mars, evil.
I know.
Evil people in there.
P-Mars.
P-Mars is
scrolling. All I can see is P-Mars.
I've still got my 4th row bridges, but I wanted to wait till the end. I can show them now while this is loading if you want. How long have you got? A couple of minutes or something.
Well, it's still no finished.
Well, I'll just screen share my bridge shots, man. Because they were nice. They were nice. It was video. It was more video. This was up on the lighthouse. Because I managed to get right up on the lighthouse. And you can see here in the video, you still see those cement blocks. You know how the rail bridge is built on these massive cement blocks. Well, you can see when you're standing on the light.
I have a photograph, and if these lot finish fucking loading up, I'll be able to show you.
Aye, well, you can show the people the comparison of what this bridge actually sits on. They're giant, it must be 50 foot, maybe 60 foot concrete blocks. And this has actually got 3 bridges. It's got the rail bridge, that's the straight one. And you've got the road bridge, and you've got the new bridge in the background, the tallest posts. This is Britain's tallest bridge now. But you can still see there's right at the bottom of the road bridge, the second bridge, the one in the middle, you can still see the wee stumps at the bottom of the posts. So this was at the higher elevation. This was on the lighthouse itself. And you could see, oh wait there. See here, this is down at the waterline.
Aye, I remember you doing that stuff. So you were literally right down at the waterline.
I was right down it. So you can see there, there's no more concrete posts. There's no more little pellet, kind of the little bits that jutted out at the bottom of the. And this was just going from the lighthouse down to the water. So we were losing a good part of the bridge, just moving from the lighthouse down to the water side.
So, see, when you were going through your photos there, mate, did you not have any pictures of that building, the other one that I was pointing out to you, the cars building?
The cars building, I did, mate. I had it somewhere, but I think I never had 2 comparison ones. If I did, there was that many. I've just maybe missed it. But you've got, Ken, you've got it, so you can show.
I've got some. It's just the fact that if you'd have had it, it would have been good.
Did you have it at high elevation though?
No, I don't seem to have. That's why I was one of the reasons why I was asking there. I was kind of hoping that you might have had it, but
I think the cars building is something we noticed later. We weren't really focusing on it when we were there. But aye, that's the bridge. You can see the waves. It is. It did start getting choppy, with the wind.
Aye.
But there's no concrete blocks here at the bottom of the bridge. Totally gone. What is that? What's that thing there?
Hey. Right, I might have a better way to look through this shit now. Cool. Same program, just. Right. Cool. Whenever you're done with that, mate, this crap's loaded up.
Nice one. So I've
got a picture of the bridge closer up so we can see the base. Actually, if you give me a wee sec, I'll add that photo into this, and that way.
Oh, I wasn't even.
It'll make sense with what you're looking at.
I wasn't even sharing my bridge shots. But I'll show the people again. This was the 4th road bridge from up on the lighthouse. We could see the concrete bases that support this thing. And there's a wee gap in between them as well. And when I went down to the water line, and focused properly. That gap was gone. So were the concrete posts. So there we go. That was just right. I've got you, Ali. Ali C. When you go, mate, take it away. Ali C. I think you should make a new channel called Ali C.
Okay, I'm glad to put your pause.
My blue flying testicles. You gotta make them fly. Spin,
Yes.
spin and fly. Right, get your pictures up, mate. We're getting bored. We're getting bored debunking the flat Earth.
Right, finally, here we go.
Jeez.
Right.
Right.
So this is just looking there towards the leaving area again. No leaving, sorry, the Berwick area. And obviously you can see these buildings are very submerged.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Only some roofs there, half the buildings there, etc.
Yep. Obvious obstruction. It's a wee bit choppy though. So
again,
they might blame that wave.
Aye,
There's a wave right in the middle of it.
But this is what I was pointing out earlier on. Sure, it's like it might look in this photo like the camera lens is right just above the water, but you both know what's happening there.
No.
You know what I mean?
A couple of feet above the water. See, look,
yeah,
the water's went all dark blue with you as well. And when you go down to the water line, the water changes the colour. And it's because it's a different angle. The light's hitting the water. Anyway,
so
when you go.
Even with this one, which isn't zoomed all the way in, it just gets a couple of the things in shot though. Just same as what you can see that much more of this boat's missing up to the lower part of the.
Where's the other one?
The hull or whatever.
Where's the other one?
Can't see the base of the turbine, and the other one is literally just this wee bit here.
That's the other one, eh? It's just that bit.
Aye.
It's the same as my 40, mate. Aye.
So just a better picture, so you can compare.
Yep.
Much clearer.
Oh, aye.
So if we remember from looking at it, you could see right down. You could see the shape of the boat sticking out. You could see the elevation marks running up the side of it and all of that kind of stuff. It's all gone.
You see chains and everything in the other ones.
Aye.
Yep, it's all gone. There's that building, the cranes.
Stuff in between cranes and that. Again, you can obviously see you're not seeing all of that building. You see the cranes further in the distance. And again, there's no distortion like warping or anything like that.
No.
It's a nice clear shot of the shape.
It's clear because you can even see with the smaller cranes in the middle of the screen. Like they're like skinny cranes, but there's no distortion. Like if there was distorted, you'd see. But they're just coming straight out. See there, the smaller cranes, they're just coming straight out and there's no blurring.
Aye.
Aye.
There's what you can see in that other boat.
Jeez, just the top.
That's it. That's all you can see. You can't see the base of that. Remember, we were talking about it earlier. You could see the
yellow
bit at the base of this turbine and the support struts that were sticking out and all that. You can't see any of that shit at all. And obviously, like I said, the crane again in the background. You know that obviously there's going to be a base to these cranes. You can't see anything.
Yep. Obstructed.
Yeah, just the same shit again, but it's
curved
just
out, man. Curved
nice, clear photographs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Aye, it's good. They're good photos, mate.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Aye, so it was generally a successful day. Looking over the 4th, I've got to say. Lots of good stuff.
I'm just going to flick through. I figured out how to do it. This is just, better zoom levels.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see more detail when you zoom in again. I think, we've pretty much, between all the photos that have been shown, you can obviously establish there's a big difference between how much is getting seen.
Yep.
In each of these boats.
Yep. We're missing at least 10 feet or something, or maybe 15 feet when we go down to the sea level.
There we go. Oh, the hussies. You just about see up to the top flare and the roofs.
Mm-hmm.
similar, but a wee bit more visible. That's that wee turbine in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you can just, you can see where you're only seeing to just beyond where the blade reaches, so there's still a good chunk of it missing.
Yep.
And that's that second blue boat that you can't even, you just can't see any of it apart from the bridge, really. Like none of the main hull of the boat is visible at all.
It must be a Dutch boat. It's got a Dutch flag flying.
Aye.
Aye.
That's the speciality. Which again, in the higher elevation shots, was like that other boat that we were looking at a minute ago that you could actually see below here. Remember?
Yep. It was like a red.
It's actually red at the bottom or something,
Aye,
and
it's a red strip
aye.
at the bottom. Yep.
You can't see any of that stuff.
Completely gone. Yep.
Right, and then the rigs.
Stilts are completely gone, nearly. Just the tops of them.
Yep. Nearly gone.
Yep. It's practically just a platform.
Same again.
Floating in the sea.
That's the second one. Further away one.
That is, the legs are, you can't even see the legs anymore, right? It's just like a platform floating in the sea. That's
literally.
Aye.
Just the platform area is all that's visible there.
So we'll keep saying again, it doesn't matter how much we zoom in. It doesn't matter how much we zoom in. We ain't going to get those fucking legs back.
Exactly. I don't know. There's nothing different between your photographs and my photographs apart from the zoom level. And nothing changes about what's actually visible in them. So this idea that they keep pushing about it changing when you zoom is just complete nonsense.
It is complete rubbish.
So that's just they two to compare to each other, obviously.
And they're practically the same boat. Again, like we've seen in my photos as well, that these boats are practically the same length, width, height. And there's not much different about these boats apart from the names of them.
And obviously that was just a get everything in shot, but it's undeniable, you know what I mean?
Oh, aye.
And then this was obviously you were doing your wee flick between the two of these earlier.
Aye.
But you can see a bit better in this. Like you can still see this, but you can't see it right down the way you could initially.
Yep.
If I've got a closer one. So that's a bit fuzzy, I think, but you get the idea. That's a bit better.
Aye.
You can see them here, and you can see part of the wall. You can't see the base of the wall. You can't see where this runs to the water line. Whereas in your higher elevation shots that you had, you could see all that.
You can see it right. You can see the waves crashing against actual land at the edge.
Aye. So there is a wee bit of a difference there.
Yep.
This is no like different from all the rest. It's just a random one. But if you look at the water line and the land, there's no connection between these two at all. You know what I mean? And you can see the depth in that.
Aye.
You know what I mean?
Yep. It wouldn't look like this if it was flat. It wouldn't look like this. No, there's no way.
And this is
just using perspective.
Another wee one showing you the hoosies sunk into the water there.
Aye.
And
just
the base. Yep. And the base of that tower obviously is missing.
Aye, it's what tower is that again? That looks like an old thing, yeah.
I'm not sure. I've never had the chance. I've no looked it up, you know. Again, you can see the trees just suddenly stop. There's no, they don't stop at the base of the trees or level it onto some ground below. And then over here you can see literally just the roof of that house.
Aye, and chimney. You see the chimney sticking up.
Yeah, let's see what else I've got. Same stuff. It's all much the same. I was just looking at the same kind of area here. You know, as I say, when you've got like trees and they just suddenly get cut off. Here we go.
There's this cars building. This is an interesting one, mate.
Right, so it's a shame we don't have the higher elevation, but you can tell anyway that the lower half of this building is missing. And again, quite good that you've got a buoy to compare in terms of whether the actual water level is for anybody that's complaining at the waves and stuff like that. And how that would compare to, you know, if this was running from here over to the base of that building, you know, you should be able to see the base of the building.
Yep.
But as you know, I did manage to identify that and get it on Google Earth. So give us a wee second. I'll stop sharing and switch to that, and
have a quick look at
show
chat.
everybody where it is.
Quick look at chat. See who's all still here, because I know when the drama's no cooking, it doesn't interest them.
Well, at the end of the day, this is what we're here for the night, mate. It's just to share all the photographs that we took.
Aye, it's not really for the live chat. It's for the hangout, and then afterwards, this gets more views afterwards than it does during the hangout. When people are in the mood to look for evidence, most people are just in the mood for a wee bit like entertainment most nights. Okay, I mean, so this is something to look at when they're in the mood. I mean, D-Truth is saying that's swell, Jed. Good work, guys. Nice one. P Mars is accusing Riley of trying to do something to him. Blue Marble guy, nice to see you, mate. Still, he has yet to prove his chosen FE model even through all that anger. He reminds me of the school bully throwing their weight around, shouting in a Cartman voice, "Respect my authority." That must be somebody we know.
I think I can guess who that might be.
Shedridge. Shedridge. So, we've got
right, just whenever you're ready, mate.
I am ready, man. I've always been ready.
You only ready the other night.
I was ill, mate.
I mean, it was fucking bollocks, man. I sent the dress ahead, and you.
The thing is, it was good because you weren't ready anyway. Come on, you're still not even ready.
Right. So this is obviously where we were looking from, and so the cars building is marked up here. You can see, so it's to the left, if you like, of Inchkeith in a way. Now, the interesting thing about that wee photo we were just looking at, and also we'll switch back to it in a minute, is all of this is what's missing from that photograph. Not just the bottom half of the building. The building isn't down here somewhere next to the water. It's right back here, and this is our line of sight right through all of this, and none of it can be seen. And I can get in down next to the building to show it in street view, just to confirm. There you go. So that's the building we're looking at from across the water. You can see how much, obviously, you should be able to see as a whole bottom level here with windies in it and all that kind of stuff. And this whole harbour and everything's all leaning out in front of it. Right? We happy with that? You there, Jed?
Aye, mate. Sorry, I was muted. I am happy with that. Move on to your image, mate.
Aye. Just making sure everybody's seeing and hearing it. You know what I mean?
Aye. I muted myself when you were speaking. Sorry.
That's cool. It's just you never know with this stuff, you know what I mean? Whether it's fucking decided to drop out or not.
I think it's just best no panicking. Kind of, if you think, because I think that's what makes it worse when you panic when you think there's something happening. Right. Aye. So here we go. Aye.
There you go. So this is what you're actually seeing. So you've got that entire harbour all leading out in front of it, and half of the building, the lower half where the windies in it and all that stuff, the fencing round about the lower half, none of it is visible. So it's not just in general the height of the building as a whole section of land stretching out in front of it. Just can't be seen.
Yep. Obviously, after just looking at that photo, it's obvious how much is missing here. All those panels or windows, whatever it was, there was a big row of them. Like, you can't see them there at all. And like you said, there's a whole harbour. There's a whole little harbour down there with boats in it and everything. The buildings even. You can't really see them. You can still see the buildings a wee bit.
Aye, but these aren't part of that area. These
they're in the background. So
aye.
Aye.
But even then, you're still only seeing half the building.
Bits of it. Aye. Cool. That was a good spot. The car's building.
Aye. This is obviously just mere stuff we can see again, you know, all these buildings all the way along here. The bit's missing.
Aye.
It's just the same. Most of these are probably, you know, as I say, I'd like to take stuff at different zoom levels and stuff, so we'll just skip through. There'll be a lot of duplication because obviously we're just trying to get better photographs of stuff, you know what I mean?
Those rigs.
That's quite good. The two next to each other again.
Aye.
Kind of quite well lit up. So you can see.
Yep.
You can see a wee bit of the top of that. Compared to down to the yellow markers on this one.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then this is the forewind. Do you remember? I don't know if people remember looking at that right at the beginning, where it was like the whole boat was visible, obviously.
It was clear. Yep.
And now it's half missing. You know.
What's happening to the front of it there? Is that a dipping down a wee bit? Is that normal? Is it
Wait, what? Yeah, or there?
Just right at the front of the boat. Kind of looks like it's got a tiny wee bit of slope.
It actually looks like it's like a bit that's sticking out. You know, it's like the shape of the boat kind of thing.
Aye, I never noticed that before. It's maybe because it's better detail. Aye, it slopes down a wee bit and sticks out. Aye.
Well, I've got a slightly closer in one. Oh no, that's a shit one. Hold on.
Aye, you can still see that feature. Aye. I never noticed that. It's like a nose on the end of the boat.
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's to say right at the beginning, you know, that was the boat, like, you know, it was massive, big boat. You could see the whole thing right down to the water, sort of thing. Obviously, but you know what I mean. What else we got? Right, so this was me starting to look back over towards the kind of up towards the land at Berwick and stuff like that. Let's see. That's all shite.
Seagull.
Obviously, if you could compare these to the first shot I took of this area, you would see like that this where the water line is, it's, you know, cut in half at a different point from what we could see first time round.
Aye.
It's obviously why I took these photos, but because you've not got a direct comparison here, it's going to be hard to tell.
You could just measure the distance between those kind of green buildings there and the water line. You can sort of measure the gap between your original photo and this one. Can you see how big that gap is between?
Phaedra that we were pointing out, that I got the photo with the lighthouse on it at the beginning. I couldn't even find that. I kept looking over this way and looking out into the sea, sort of thing, you know, following the line of the land, trying to find that thing, and I just couldn't find it again at the lower elevation.
Aye, because it's just buried behind the curve. It's buried behind the curve, mate.
Some of these photos just shouldn't be in here, so I thought I'd went through and sorted all this shit out, but apparently no.
No, it still shows obstruction, but like I said,
you know, there's also a lot of repeats because of, you know, it's good stuff and you're trying to get better photos.
That's the second boat there that's gone, eh? You can just see the top of it. Aye. Just there, that's the top of the second, Jim. Aye. That's the top of it. That's all it's radar and shit like that spinning around, but just the top of it.
There you go.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's good enough detail that you can actually make individual sections it rather than just being a blur of white, you know? So there's no doubting what you're looking at there.
Yep.
And it's that good, you almost can read that it says Samsung on that.
Aye. Crazy.
I guess there's a lot of kind of repeated photographs here just to kind of hammer home the point.
Aye, but hammering in the nails again. The flat earth coffin.
And then I think we've got the one I'm hoping to get is that that building. Hold on. Is this the other one you were looking at? No, can't remember now.
I
don't think so. Actually, that's different.
No, it's no. Different. It's no.
Must have just been some random building I thought stood it. Anyway, and another good. This is a good one because it's nice and clear.
Looks like a village floating in the water.
You can really see all of that, and it's again, you know, there's no distortion of anything like that. There you go.
Aye.
very, very obvious that all these buildings are getting obscured.
Yep, definitely.
Same again, same again. It's just a lot of the same stuff, so I'll just kind of skip through. I see. I think some of the photos have made it in that shouldn't have anyway, so I don't know if that's happened there.
That's just a roof. Roofs of a wee village.
Top floors of buildings.
Aye. Crazy, yeah.
Crazy. So here's this Gosford house.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we had a picture from you that was probably roughly about that size-ish, maybe.
Aye,
like,
it was a bit like
that. Obviously, we looked at it earlier. And we
a wee bit water on the lens there. Is that a wee bit water on the lens, or is that something flying past?
No, that's a wee. It's just a wee bird.
Is it?
Where are we? Sure, I had a better. That must be it, mate. I think I thought I had a better picture of this, like just a wee bit better looking, clearer. But
aye.
Again, this is in the same area. This is some of the buildings when I was originally looking around, that coastline. I was kind of taking random pictures of buildings as I worked my way around. And same again, you can see they're half buried. At a different level, the amount obscured obviously changes depending on what part you're looking at. And it's deceptive when you're there because you think you're looking at one wee kind of spar of land sticking out into the sea, but it's actually a coastline running eastward away from you.
Yep. Cool.
So looking at different bits, you're looking at, all different distances. It's just all the same kind of area with the same amount of, stuff hidden. I think there's a lot of shite in here that doesn't seem to have.
There's that that weird colour that was in the sky there.
Ah, that's right. That was what the last few photos were for. Try to catch that.
It wasn't a rainbow. It was just like a sort of smudge in the sky.
You just make it out there.
Aye.
Anyway, I think that's about it. Because I don't want to obviously flick through everything because it is just repeating, the same stuff.
So that was the low elevation. So you had how many folders did you had? You had the high elevation, the low elevation, and what was the other one? Bridges or something?
The last one is for the bridge.
Aye. So get the bridges up, mate, and then I'll flick my bridges up and we'll wrap it up with that, mate. I think that's another good night of debunking the flat Earth. I'll be happy to see I'll be happy to see if anyone in the flat Earth.
If you don't mind, a wee bit longer than this. If you remember, there was a bonus round.
Bonus round?
Aye. These are my only photographs, remember?
All right. You want to squeeze them in, like? I just wanted to make a sort of concise hangout, like, because I think.
No. Sorry, I'm not wanting to, waste everybody's time for hours or anything like that. I just mean, like, just for a wee bit of padding, and a bit of extra kind of fuck you. Quickly click through some others.
Well, cool, mate. If you can get them loaded up, I'll go for a quick cigarette because that's been 2 hours now.
Jesus Christ!
It doesn't feel like 2 hours.
No, but the thing is, it takes a long time to flick through them all, and obviously you have to kind of explain where you're looking and all that shit.
Aye, but you didn't want to put people off.
This time round, it was 2 A's. It's not just the one set of 40s. It's fucking 2 lots of 40s from 2 elevations, so it's a lot to get through. You
didn't want to put people off with like 4 hour long fucking videos. Get what I mean? That's my only point. As soon as I seen Antonio's apology video, a 3 hours something, I thought, fuck. And it's like when someone puts a big massive meal into you that you didn't want to eat, but you have to, like, your granny puts a big meal into you, like, I'll eat that later, or fucking you'll pick away at it. So again, I don't want people to come here and just pick away at our stuff. If we can make it nice and
I think if they're being sensible though, if it turns out that these take a couple hours today, they don't even need to listen to them, mate. They can just put it on and flick through and look at the photos. Do you know what I mean? They don't need to sit and listen to us fucking rambling on. They don't need to listen to us if they want to hear the information about where we were standing and all that shit, but they can just flick through and flick through and flick through. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Especially the bits where you're fucking waiting on me loading up photos and all that shit.
Like I said, mate, I'll go for
it bores my tits off. It's not as if I'm enjoying it. It's just I can't do anything about it. You know what I mean?
Do you know what I'll do? I'll show my bridge. Well, I did show my bridge photos already. I kind of showed them there. But I'd like you to show what the bridge usually looks like. Can you show a picture of the fourth bridge? And I'll get my.
Just a sec. I'm just.
Have you showed it already? Did you show the bridge already? No, you never, did you?
No. Right, it's just loading up the bridge ones now.
Right, cool. So I'll get a picture of me doing it the water line of the bridge. Just something a wee bit clearer. It's in focus. See the water bending there? See that? Whoa! See what I've realised, Al? Water's never flat, even in the minuscule scale.
No,
Okay, when you were showing me, like, even like
yes.
when you've got a tiny little droplet again on a table, like even if you zoom in right on the edges, they slope down. Okay, they're not like a little fucking level square. Okay, when you do it, it's like it's
no, exactly.
Water's never level.
It's
Water's never level.
Never level.
Water's
It's
never level.
shaped, and also as well as the shape, it's so susceptible to the slightest amount of force.
Aye.
So it's always been disturbed and moved around and changing shape. That's the thing about water. I mean, people try and make this argument that it can be curved, which is the complete fucking opposite to reality. That's the whole point. It's a liquid and it's totally malleable. You can do fucking anything with it. It can be made into any shape.
And I've realised
it just depends how you make the shape.
I've realised it's never level, even when you have like a glassy, again, water. You look in and it looks concave. Kind of like the edges actually lip up a wee bit, can go up the sides of the glass a wee bit. And you can see it's like it's never ever. When I've looked at liquid now, and it's never ever been flat. Never.
Even when you get it, like let's say like you've had water standing for a long time, there'll be a part of it. Like you say, like at the edge, it will maybe just curve a wee bit, or if it's like the things I was showing you, you know, the surface across from one side to the other might look flat to you, but then when you get near the edges, it starts curving round.
Aye. You know? Aye, so I've realised water's never flat, never level. It's just bullshit, really. So I've got the image. I've quickly got the images up anyway, mate. I'll screen share them. What?
Well, I mean, the one last thing about that, mate, is that all the things that you could say about water, obviously, the big thing that they use it as a ruler or a measuring tool to talk about the shape of the earth. So when they're talking about water, they're not really talking about water in a cup. They're talking about water on the oceans.
Aye.
And that's fucking one body of water, you know, it's never, ever, ever going to be flat and level. You know, the elevation change across the world, you know, there's hundreds of different water heights, and then of course the surface, it's always, you know, rippling waves, the lot. And see if you zoom in to like, see if you get a wee section of water that's on the ocean or the sea or whatever, and you zoom right into it and look at, like, say, like what you would class as, to your eye, one wave. You'll actually see that you know, that one section has got hundreds or thousands of wee peaks in it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's even with a bit that might look like a uniform shape to you, there's hundreds of wee deviations in it.
Aye, it's never flat, mate. It's never flat. But I'm just showing the people, the rail bridge that I was looking at, and you see these big concrete bits. They're quite noticeable, actually. The concrete, so it's just like support. But
my pictures weren't in this. They weren't in the same folder, so I had to fucking find them there to move.
That's all right. I just went on Google Earth. Google, sorry. But aye, we're missing those giant concrete stumps, and those concrete stumps are large. They're fucking large. Again, if that boat went beside it, it'd probably look quite small compared to the concrete stump. They're maybe 50, 60 feet high, these things, these concrete supports. So, right. So what were you going to share there? Were you going to share there?
2 6. Stupid things being weird to me. It's not fucking.
And I'll go back to
stuff, and it's just been slow for some reason. It wasn't responding to see what I was doing.
So the concrete blocks are here.
Right, like that should be us. Fuck knows how I've managed that. Jesus. Anyway, so this was my photo that I took a few months back.
Wait a minute.
An example. You got it?
Aye, there we go.
Aye.
That's your own photo, yeah?
Just a random, just a snapshot while I was earlier. Oh, Jesus, I keep doing that. But, you know, in it you can see base.
These giant concrete supports.
It's pretty huge.
And they are huge. If you're standing next to it, you'd look tiny if you're standing next to these things.
Zoom back out and look at them, and then look at these, you know, the boat and the guy here.
Aye.
To give you some kind of idea of scale.
And look at the watermarks. You can see the watermark as well. On
and then, as we were noticing earlier, obviously, so these here, this kind of base on these where it juts out is roughly about, you know, it seems to be about the same kind of height as these as well.
Yep.
Let me just get back to the beginning.
Right, I'm going to go for a quick cigarette while you get your bonus
material. This was just the like establishing where we were, so that's whatever.
I took that. That's my 40, mate. That's my 40. I've already established that.
It's ridiculous. It was weird when you were showing that. I was like, "Fuck."
It looks like the exact same photograph, eh? Right, with that, mate.
That's what the bridges look like staying there.
Aye.
Roughly. So then this is before I've moved the line to the lighthouse. So I'm up roughly level with the lighthouse, but back a wee bit. But as we were just saying, and same as what you did earlier, it's just that my pictures are zoomed in a bit more. You can't really see all the bases. You can kind of see the top half. You can see a bit of it. You can't see the full lot.
See, I was seeing less than that because I think I was lower to the water. So the wee gap between the posts, couldn't even see it.
This is before.
Oh, is this before you went right down?
And you actually went right down that wee kind of ramp bit and right next to the water sort of thing. I didn't quite go as low as that. You know what I mean?
You were still quite low on the other side, though.
Where are we? So this is all before I've moved along. So here's a wee one for you, mate.
Yeah. Who's that? Aye, nice one, man. That's evidence I was there. I would nearly got swept away.
Aye, dedicated to your art, mate.
Aye.
Look at that.
It's like a ninja.
Ninja.
Aye, hunting for the curve.
Aye. So I think this is my 40s once I've moved in. I was like slightly higher than what you were in that 40, basically. It's similar though. And you can still see a wee bit here.
Aye,
you still see it all.
Aye. The video I took, you couldn't see those stumps anymore. They were gone. They were gone.
Aye. There's not a lot to see in the bridge. It's much the same, but they're roughly about 8 or 9 miles. See the second bridge?
Aye,
the old road bridge.
The fourth road bridge, yeah.
We didn't have. I think I did find a photo earlier. Give me a second, just in the bottom here. I don't know if it's any good for looking at the base of this, but it's worth a try. Let me see. Fucking hell. It's a bit far away, but so this is while the new bridge was being built.
All right.
It was the only picture I had handy, you know what I mean? But you can kind of see the base of the road bridge, the old road bridge. You see,
there's,
you know what I mean?
There's like I didn't realise, but there's like long bits as well, eh? There's like there's like large. I forgot the post went right into the water, but there's actually like a bit they go into first, like a support.
Aye. If you look back at that first scene's just the top end. You'll not see the lower end where it spreads it.
Cool.
So it's good enough to give you the idea. You know what I mean?
I made obstruction. Yep.
Aye. So it's all much the same, but you can see that in every one it's the same thing. You can see that there is obstruction again because you're not seeing the full length of these big concrete bases, and because we've been able to establish that with that last photo, you can see that you're not seeing all the base of that one either. But the photos are all much the same, really. Just different zoom levels and stuff.
Oh, that's more like the ones I've got. Like you're lower on the water there.
You know what it is? I know what it is. I forget and see. This is what I was trying to remember. I've taken my first set of photos up next to the lighthouse,
Aye,
and
then you
then I
went into
moved
the water.
down the
Aye.
concrete closer to where you were. So
Aye.
that's what's going on there.
You've done
Sorry.
exactly the same as me. I took higher shots and then I went into the water.
Aye.
You've done the same. Because now you can't see the concrete at all.
Aye, I see.
At
Can't
all.
see any of the sports at all.
And even see the wee bit that jutted out on the Forth Road Bridge. The wee
Aye.
bits that came out, you can't even see even that. It's like a little shoulders that came out. Can't even see that. So yep. And we're both getting the same stuff. Yeah, we're both getting similar shots. Good. And that's nearly exactly the same as what I was getting.
Different cameras, zoom levels, all the same. Obviously. But obviously some people don't think it works that way. Aye, there you go.
Lovely, mate.
Nice. That's just completely gone.
It's amazing to see the 3 bridges get all together. It's like a mess, eh? With lines and wires and suspensions and crazy, man.
Aye, it's kind of weird.
Nice, so.
But aye, so you know, I think between all of them, you can clearly see that with the distance there's some obstruction, and then when you change your elevation, you obviously increase that obstruction to some degree.
Yep. And sometimes it can be quite dramatic from going from 10 meters elevation to like a couple of feet above the water. Like the obstruction can be quite dramatic and like about 10 feet, 15 feet. It looks like.
And then none, you know, all through these, they've all been the same in terms of how good the quality is, as in there's no refraction or anything like that happening. There's no distortion happening.
That was a good day. Hey, who's that ugly guy? But I up on the lighthouse.
Before you get arrested. I did try, as I say, I forgot to kind of take a lot more photos of the other stuff, because that was part of the plan, was to look back up the water.
Aye.
Some of the stuff we'd been looking at earlier. This was a different boat that was cutting across the water at the time. But you can still see some of the stuff we were looking at earlier in the background.
Aye.
You know. So like the obvious one. This is what it, from down at the lighthouse, this is what this turbine in that boat looked like. So you can see a bit more than what we could see before.
See a wee bit of yellow turbine.
Aye. Aye. So there is a difference, because obviously the overall distance has decreased. But that's me walked around the other side of the lighthouse. So I'm up at the level of the lighthouse. So that's it's going to be roughly the same level height wise as where we were when we were taking the first lot of observations. So some, the distance will be different, but the height will be same, that kind of thing. So it goes to show you the difference it makes. You know what I mean?
Oh, aye.
I see wee buildings again. So
that's
a wee bit. Aye.
Aye.
I don't think there was much else. So it's like, just because I was seeing the same things again, I was taking pictures of them. So you can see now that that's come back into view.
Yep.
Obviously, when we moved to the lower elevation earlier, it was kind of coming up to here.
Yep.
And now you can see that red bit again.
That's from the lighthouse sort of area. So aye, about your bonus stuff, mate, because I think, have you got any many? That's one coming straight towards us.
That's the forewind, the one from right back at the beginning.
Aye.
But it's looking straight on. So there's the wee bits. It's the anchor points. You know where the anchors feed it.
Aye.
Aye.
Cool.
And then the buildings over it thingy. Oh, I see. I knew I had some, like a reasonable, quite a clear picture of this building. There you go.
Aye. Oh, there we go.
It's quite clear.
Aye.
And again,
it's clearly obstructed.
In a different position.
It's clearly obstructed.
Aye.
Aye.
Just because it's the same stuff, but from a different point.
Aye. A wee bit a different angle as well.
I didn't get many, I didn't do anywhere near as many photos of that stuff on that. But oh man, right.
Battery.
So that's all the shit from Leith, mate. That's all the shit from Leith.
Right, cool. Well, I'll let you dig out your bonus material, and I'll go and get a cigarette, right? And try and be nice to the chat when I'm away, mate. Right? Well, I should do it.
I'm not a multitasker.
Aye, I will. Aye, yeah. You just pretend you're no. You're just a bad multitasker.
Oh, exactly. I'm shite at it. Where are we? Right. If anybody's still hanging about and interested in this stuff, the only reason I'm talking about doing a wee bit more is just because, in addition to the stuff that we've been shown so far, which is all over at Leith, I actually managed to get out and get a wee bit of extra stuff as well at the weekend. What I did was I went back to the Clyde area where, Dell had originally done some observations, and then the other week we had some sort of similar observations, and I identified the building he was looking at and stuff like that. So what I've done is I've just went back there another day and just quickly grabbed some more stuff, except this time I was over on the same side that Dell originally was on. And not quite the same position, but similar. So I don't have quite the same view. I kind of get the waterfront leisure complex. It's not quite properly in view, but there's a couple other things, and it'll not take long to look at them. It's just to quickly show you that different day, different conditions, same place, slightly different position, but basically the same, and you're getting the same level of obstruction again, looking up towards Greenock. But unfortunately, as with the other stuff that we've been looking at, it takes a while for the program to load up. So you need to bear with me while I'm getting this stuff. Takes so long to load up. God damn. Is anybody still here? Apart from PMAR's trolling everybody. As I say, this is just like a wee bit of bonus stuff. Yeah, for just to add an extra nail, as Jed would say. I wasn't sure, if we were going to actually manage to get the stuff that we've been looking at the night through at Leith. So I thought it would be good to get out and get some more. And since the first set of stuff that we did, that's basically been a month now. It's like a month of weekends. So every weekend we've had something to show in different locations. So just a nice way to finish off the month, I think, to have a wee extra set of observations. Still loading up, unfortunately. Once it's loaded, I'll not waste too much time, mate. I'll just quickly flick through.
You're committed, eh? You're a fucking committed cult globist. At least C.
The Kool-Aid is well in my veins, mate.
Well, how many times do you think you're going to have to do this before you sort of give up? And is this more for yourself as well, rather than like to prove to anyone else? Is it more of us?
It's the thing about it is, right, is I think if you can get as many different observations in different places, it just builds like a body of evidence. And as I said before, you've got somebody like Soundly, obviously going to Lake Pontchartrain. And one of the most, the ridiculous things that people say, it's like, oh, that's the only place you can see this, which obviously isn't true. So I think if other people can go out and get similar observations showing the same type of things in different parts of the world, basically, and showing that it's a thing that happens everywhere. And then obviously for my part, I don't want to get stuck in one place. So if I can get all this, go to all these different places and show the same thing happening in as many different places as I can, it's a much better body of evidence in the long run. But I wouldn't keep going out every week for the rest of, you know, for years or whatever, to try and, you know, I would do so much yet, and do other stuff besides, you know what I mean? As I said before, I do have plans for other things. It's just right now I'd like to try and get like a fair amount of this if I can, and in particular there's certain ones that I want to, like planned ones that I want to do, that are a wee bit more structured, rather than just like, you know, heading out somewhere and looking across the water, or like we did there, meeting up. We kind of have planned that, but we never really planned specifically to meet on Sunday. So we knew where we were going, but we weren't prepared to do the full set of stuff that we had discussed, which was me going over the other side and all that kind of stuff. So things like that, where it's a wee bit more organised and you're getting multiple observations from different points across the same body of water and stuff like that, I'd like to do a bit more of them, you know, and that will be kind of key to fighting against some of the bad arguments as well. If you can do like a multi-point observation, it kind of kills some of the bad arguments. You know what I mean?
And it's no, this isn't a moral crusade to try and save the flat earthers. To me, in my eyes, this is just information out there for people like that are looking for objective evidence. And there's not enough of it. When I was looking at it, there wasn't enough of people like us doing what we're doing. So this is one of the reasons why we're doing it, is to save people the hassle of getting roped into this shit, having to argue. They can just come to our videos, see obstruction, they can point people towards us, and it's more prevention rather than try to cure. It's more of a prevention rather than a cure. And same like we were saying the other day, we're not trying to save the children. We're not trying to save people's children. And it's at the end of the day, we don't get
anybody that's coming into this, because obviously there's a wee bit of a spate at the new, and the people that we've been encountering on here are trying their best to try and get other people to come and look at the same shit on YouTube. That's the problem. It started off as it's just basically a YouTube meme and Eric Dubé's ridiculous so-called proofs. And if that's all there is, and people are convinced to come and look at it, they're going to end up, you know, it's the same way they all get kind of brainwashed with this bad information. And if you're only surrounded by a bunch like that group of people, you know, they're all saying the same thing and all agreeing with it, you've not got any alternative to look into, and you're screwed. You know, you're going to be, it's going to be easier for you to buy into it. So if you're being convinced to come and look on YouTube because of what these people are going out and say, you know, go and research flat Earth and all that kind of stuff, then really when people get to YouTube, you want stuff like this to be here. To show that there is an alternative to the mince, you know, the meme stuff. There's actual real world stuff that counters it.
Because there is people that do believe they are spherical, and when they come across some flat earthers, and the flat earthers hit them with things like, no, it's perspective, and it's not obstruction, and things like that. And maybe it stops the argument because they've got nothing to present themselves. Like the flat earthers will hit them with all the Eric Dubé videos and Mark Sargent videos, all these crazy videos where the globe earther's sitting there with his NASA video, which is just going to get thrown at the window. So it's good that there's a bunch of stuff that's done by just normal guys. And you know how normal I am, Al. You're up in my flat, you know what I mean? My fucking Illuminati flat, eating dinner with me, you know what I mean? It's like we're just normal dudes, and there's not enough evidence out there from normal dudes. And like, you've got the P900, I've got the Canon 500D, and it was an expensive camera when it first came out. It was worth £400 or £500 when it first came out. So another reason is not a lot of people spend that much money on that kind of equipment. So we're kind of just offering a service in a way, not to stop flat Earth or cure flat Earth. This is more to prevent the crap going any further, and just to show people that there's normal guys out there trying to find the objective truth and going out there and doing the work. And you've done a great job, I think, in the past few weeks, sealing it. So, well done, mate.
I hope so. You know, thanks for saying that. But it's, you know, the more I can get, the better. You know, especially if I can get like clearer observations and stuff like that. I really want that to be the case. That, you know, because obviously once it's out on the internet, it's there. You know, you don't need to keep doing the same thing over and over again. As long as you can get a few of them out there, though, because I think it's important to have a mix. You know what I mean? You can't just go to one place, day one observation, say, there you go, that seals the deal for the whole Earth. You know, it helps if it's a good one and not a bad one. But, you know, you really do need variation in it.
Well, I found that myself, even when I was trying to look for the normal guys, again, the guys that weren't in NASA and that, but I still found they were still biased. Again, they were still hanging about ed discussions, and again, they were taking a totally biased stand. Okay, I mean, and I think that puts people off as well. You know what I mean? If you take a sort of middle stand on it, we're not flat earthers, but if we do find evidence to support flat Earth, which we go out and do our observations. If we found it, we would present it. But we're getting the contrary. We're getting the opposite. We're getting obstruction. We're getting buildings blocked. There's nothing to support the flat Earth through our observations. So we're just presenting what we see. That's it. You know what I mean,
thing is all this stuff is for my part, I kind of know all this stuff for myself. Is I don't need to go out and do these observations to convince myself. I'm well aware of it. I understand the simplicity of the geometry.
But there's obviously a reason why people
obstruction and stuff like that. But
there's obviously a reason why people have got roped into this. Though there's obviously a reason why smart people have got fucking roped into this. Again, we can't say that all flat earthers are fucking stupid people, because there's been some bright people being sort of dragged into this, and it's maybe just laziness. And it's not that they're stupid; it's just that they're maybe too busy, or they're not got the time, or they're too lazy.
The people like that you're talking about, they're more frustrating, because they should have the intelligence to listen to the opposing argument and understand the information. But what I find is the people that, and for whatever reason, they should be smart. Just say they're qualified in some way in the day, some kind of technical job or something like that, so they've got a certain level of intelligence. And yet they buy right into this stuff. But when something's explained to them, you would think that being the more intelligent person they're supposed to be, they would be able to take that information on board and process it. But they don't. And that's the bit that's frustrating. So if you've got somebody that's like just generally daft, so to speak, and they don't understand anything, you can understand why they're not going to understand if you try and explain something to them. But if you've got somebody who's quite intelligent and they just not getting it, it's really, really annoying. You know what I mean? It's like that thing about people being, academically smart, but like, no common sense at all.
Aye.
So there's different ways of being intelligent, kind of thing.
Yep.
And it seems to be that same kind of thing. Mate, are you seeing all this stuff?
I've got it up, mate. Aye, seen it fine.
Aye, right. Sorry, so I'll try and be quick with this, but basically I jumped back into the Clyde, so you can still see the markers from when I did the previous one we were talking about, where I went here and I went there and all that kind of shit, right?
Right.
So what I've done is I've come down to this side, and if I zoom in, you can see. Shit, I've still got the measure tool on. Jesus Christ. Why is the wee box is hidden? There we go, right. So if I zoom in, I can sort of give you a better idea. So there's a roundabout here, you come off here and go down the wee road here and park up. And then I've walked it and down onto the bank here. Right. It's the sign here is for the wee place that's West Ferry. So anyway, that's what I've done. I've went there and looked up towards Greenock again. Up this way. So this is the old, from the old measurements, this is the building that it was previously being looked at, the Waterfront Leisure Centre there, right? Yep. Because of the angle, you don't really see that properly in these shots. But what you're looking at, and this is why I'm zooming in here, is this building here, which is the View Cinema, which is across the car park from the waterfront. Okay, right. So it's just to give you an idea where I was standing, where I was looking.
Cool.
So 2 seconds, I just need to do the sharing thing.
How far was that about? What was the distance? Is it?
Just over 8 miles. Just over 8 miles.
Cool.
Aye. Right. So I'll just go through these. It was just literally stunning and taking snapshots. But some of these, if you've seen the previous hangouts, you'll recognise the area anyway, because you'll recognise like the cranes and stuff that we were looking at before. Yep. But you can see it straight away. Zoom into this photograph that you're not seeing the feet of the cranes, you're not seeing half of these warehouse buildings.
Yep.
And
just in the
roof there that's the View Cinema.
Is it?
That's why I was pointing that out. That's the roof of the View Cinema.
Oh, wow.
So this is the waterfront over here. I think it's just that the way the angle is, you've got other stuff in the way, so you can't really see it properly. You know what I mean? But it was just, a random trip down See what I could see from that side. And this is what you're seeing from 8 mile away. You can see very clearly what's happening there. It's just the roof of the building and a tiny wee bit of the top of it.
Crazy, crazy, yeah.
So,
and how high was your elevation? Did you?
That's what I just pointed it to you. It was right down at the water, except for the height of the tripod, basically.
Oh, so you're talking about
As
2
in,
feet.
the foot of the tripod was like at the edge of the water, and while I was standing taking the photographs, the water was slowly coming in. So by the time I finished taking some of the photos, the kind of part of the leg was getting submerged by the water.
Aye. So you're talking about 2 feet or something. Get away.
So I probably about like something like 2.5 feet.
Aye.
Just better zoomed in and stuff. And again, you can see, well, you can only see half the warehouse, but you can see the buoy floating on the water. So that tells you where the actual water level is, and that's where the land should end up at the other side of this buoy. Is slightly above it, and obviously it isn't. It's obstructed.
Because that's a whole buoy you can see, yeah, floating on top of the water line. So, like you said, the water should go all the way back, and the building should rise above that buoy. Because
aye. Yeah, let me see. Sorry.
Oh, that's how perspectives meant to work.
So, while I was doing that, it just so happens it's not the best, like the clearest pictures, but you can see that there was like some kind of naval ship was working its way across the Clyde.
Yeah.
No an expert on them, so I couldn't tell you exactly what type.
But you can see the equipment, like the radar and stuff like that.
Aye. So I do have a wee video, and you can see that spinning and stuff like that. But just for quickness, I'll just quickly flick. Some some photos are better than others. I'll just kind of flick through. Again, it's enough to see what's happening, so you can tell this is the various kind of pieces of equipment at the top end of the boat. You can't see into the lower half of the boat. You can see the buoy on the water line.
The water line, aye. So if this was perspective, if this was just perspective, where the line of the buoy is, it would start converging to a point forward, but instead it looks
like the still be above, and away kind of thing, in towards the centre.
Yep, if it was perspective, but it's not. It's falling downwards, and it's crazy.
Aye.
It's crazy how they can say it's perspective.
So it was just moving its way across. So I just kept following it and taking photographs of it.
Aye.
But it's a good gauge for what's going on. And like I say, some of the pictures are not as clear as I would like them to be, but you can still just about see enough to see that there's like buildings that you can't see all the way in the backgrounds and stuff like that, as well as the boat.
You're not bringing it back.
There's probably better ones. Like, see there you go, right? So that's the peaks on the roof. Building there.
Yep.
See it?
Yep.
And you can just sort it. I don't know how well you can gauge it yourself, but as it was coming across this way, it was slightly rising. It was getting slightly closer to me, so a wee bit more of the boat was becoming visible.
So it must have been coming at an angle to you. Rather than straight across or forward, it's going like at an angle. Closer, but an angle, sort of thing.
I'll just quickly flick through them and stoke occasionally. So there you go. Again, you obviously can't see the bottoms of the aim, and there's the buoy there. You know what I mean? So there's no disputing this is the level of the water.
What's the cross thing? What's that?
Be above it. I don't know, some kind of marker in the water, I assume, but I don't know exactly. I think there's a bird sitting on top of it. That was just that house again, the wee peaks of the roof. So it's just that, much the same thing as it's similar to what I'd seen before in the previous shots. So, I say they're not especially clear, but you can still see that there's buildings there, you know what I mean? Some of them are better than others, obviously. There's the ship again. You can see a bit more detail on it. You can see the windies at the front and stuff like that. And then behind it, you can see just a peak of that building there. You can see half of that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's consistent as as I'm following it and across the water, you can see same shit. Yeah. Again, no disputing where the water line should be.
You can see those buoys floating on the. There's no obstruction on the buoys. It doesn't look like, apart from the tiny little bit of the wakes.
Literally floating
The
off
wakes,
the
the
water,
waves, a wee bit. But
mm-hmm.
like you say, it's if that's the line of the water, it should kind of go back, and then the boat should be above it. But instead, the boat's sinking behind it. So clear obstruction. It's the old nail in the coffin, eh? An extra one.
So I say, I thought it would just be nice to share a wee bit of bonus
Aye.
footage. You know, I couldn't have predicted that the ship would appear, the boat or whatever. It was interesting enough to just get this shot of Greenock, and you could see that the buildings were obstructed. But this coming across just made it a bit better.
Aye.
You know what I mean?
Nice one. Aye. The boy's a good gauge as well.
Aye, exactly.
Because you can actually see water behind. You can actually see water behind the buoy. If you look, you can actually see the water lines above the buoy.
Mm-hmm.
Aye,
which is what you would expect. You know, you'd expect to see it keep. You know, but it's not doing that. Obviously, it only goes so far.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to think if there was anything else particular about it. I think I probably just swung back round and was looking at the buildings again and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Aye, you know, so.
But
I
the
think
cinema was
the same.
the cinema was an obvious one as well. And the cinema was so obvious.
Well, that's it. Literally, you could just see the roof of it. So.
Mm-hmm.
Aye, there it is again. It's a bit hazy, but you can see it. You know what I mean?
Aye.
That's the roof of the cinema.
Crazy.
And of course, you can go into you know, Street View or something like that and go and look at what the building looks like.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think that is pretty much it, mate. It's just
nice one.
Just taking several photos of the same thing.
It's been good.
Just for a wee frame of reference, that's a zoomed out shot looking up to what I was looking at there. So obviously you can't see shit in that.
Aye.
That's where I was standing. You can see if I zoom in a bit, right? Just scroll it down a wee bit. You know what I mean? Aye. So obviously I'm a couple of like a foot or two back from where you're looking, but that's literally where the tripod would have been, except just a few feet back. It's just in the sand here, kind of thing, right next to the water.
Cool.
And just view cinema and stuff like that. It's just in this wee kind of section here.
And like what we were saying earlier, like this photo here, it doesn't show you much in the distance, but if you're standing there looking with your eyeball, you probably see stuff. I mean, it's like...
Oh, you can see it, definitely see it clearer than what you can see in this photo.
Aye.
You can see these buoys pretty well and stuff like that, and you can't make out individual buildings as such, but they're kind of sharper and more white and stuff, you know what I mean? They're more solid, they stand out. So, you can see a lot more. I did take video zooming in and out to establish my location. I'm literally right across from Debunking Castle and all that, but there's no point showing you that. I've shown you on Google Earth, so I'm not going to waste any more time with it. I just wanted to quickly flick through and show you a wee bit of extra obstruction, you know what I mean?
Nice, so we've got East Coast, West Coast, Scotland, and we've got plenty, mate. And I just like to see, like, if we're so wrong, I'd just like to see people try to debunk this stuff. Just try and debunk it. And no way orphan read videos from fucking 2 or 3 years ago were drawn on a whiteboard. You know what I mean? It's no, go out and show us with your cameras. We didn't want to hear a Dubé video or a Mark Sargent video or some nonsense drawn on a whiteboard. We want people to go out, show us boats coming back over the horizon, obstructed boats coming back.
People just sit and talk about it and they convince themselves that perspective can do this, and it's just a complete lie. It's utter bullshit. It's impossible. And I would like to say, if anybody is still listening to this, or if they listen to it later and they insist that it is perspective, then I would challenge anybody to actually demonstrate that.
Yep.
Out with of an observation like that, as in demonstrate it to some kind of scale, you know, a reasonable scale, and know these tricks that some of them have tried, where they use a bumpy foreground to try and hide something, you know, none of that stuff. Get a nice big flat area and sit your camera at one end and then take an object and move it further and further and further away and see if you can make the boatmate disappear. And I can guarantee it will never happen. All that will happen is the entire thing will get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and it will still stay above the line, the platform that it's resting on, because that's the way things really do work in reality. You know what I mean?
So, and same with guys like Soundly and all the other guys, they're more than welcome to use our footage or photographs. Or if anyone wants raw images, feel free to comment.
there's two lots of people who obviously would never get near my stuff, even if they paid me, and that's Globebusters and Anthony Liley.
Yep.
They can go fuck themselves. They're not getting any of that shit because they're fraudulent pieces of shit. But other than that, I'm quite happy to share stuff around. That's the whole point. That's why it's there.
Cool.
I did say to Soundly actually that I'm going to try and kind of follow his lead with regard to making it available by putting it into some kind of shared folder. I just haven't got around to doing that yet.
Like
obviously, when I do,
Google Drive or
let
something
everybody
like
know. Aye, I'll make sure everybody knows if once I've got stuff uploaded and got it organised.
Have you tried Dropbox? A thing called Dropbox.
I did it a couple of years ago, mate. I thought it was pish. I didn't like it.
Aye.
I've got Google Drive, and I actually prefer that. But Soundly has recommended to me that I do it through Google Photos. It says it's a bit quicker and easier to get everything uploaded. Saves a lot of time.
Cool.
So I'll look into that. We'll look at it as the night, mate. You know what I mean? Between the two of us, we've had 2 days to try and organise this, and we're still like, it takes a long time to look through fucking a couple hundred photos. You know what I mean? Well,
that's why we're doing it, mate. Because there's people that just haven't got the time or effort or the equipment to do it, and there isn't a lot of stuff that we're doing. Kind of is because we're kind of stating the obvious to the real world, but within the conspiracy and within the confused world, people, and we're doing a good job, I think. So we didn't let it put us down that we're stating the obvious, because I think it's prevention. I think it's there for the archive. You know what I mean? If people need to look and for themselves, it's there. So I think we're doing a good job. I think we're doing great, mate. So we just keep bashing away at them, mate.
Well, that's my intention. I will get as much like real world stuff. Oh, you've went all quiet. I think.
Aye, because I've stopped to let you speak.
No, you know.
I've stopped to let you speak.
It's not that, mate. It's not what you think. I switched over to look at the chat, and there's a delay, and I can see your lips moving.
I told you, stop looking at that fucking chat. Oh God. Right, anyway, mate. Wrap up at that.
There's actually a good guy in there, mate. There's a good guy in there, so it's cool.
Let's see. I'll give the chat a wee shout out before I go anyway. Oh, good guy. There's Soundly. There's Blue Marble guy. By the way, Eric doesn't like my tone. I reckon he's blocked me because of it. Well, he has an image to protect. Hey. Alky's there.
What, Eric today?
Reptilian Overlord, Ghost O Guitar. I've never seen that. Shruminati's here. Twitwit. Rebel. The lovely Rebel. Charlie, Jed, I've watched some of this, and these seem to be good images taken on days with little distortion. Very clearly shown the curve of the Earth, says Charlie. Nice. I'm glad people appreciate it. D-Truth's still here. Or maybe he's away. Carl Stenbeck. Oh, God. Anyway, nice to see you all. Thanks for joining me. And same with you, Al. Cheers, mate, and we'll do it again soon. I'll take it.
It was good. It was good to get it.
I think my next one's going to be more of a hangout. My next sort of stuff, like just a hangout with people talking to each other. Because I've done a few evidence ones, I've done a few ranty ones, and I think the next one's going to be maybe invite some people in to talk about what's going on lately, and maybe talk about our videos and talk about all the drama that's happening right now between all the weird.
Of course, I did say to you actually the other day. I don't know if you remember. I mean, it's good to get out and do this stuff, but also you don't want to saturate it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been as I said, a month of weekends. A full month. Each week we've had something to show, and this time round it's been 2 lots in the one go, so that's plenty for a month. Do you know what I mean? So if there's a wee break, that's fine. I'm sure people can live with that, but I'm not going to stop altogether, obviously, but it's fine to take a wee break. I think 4 weeks in a row of producing something's
you've been pretty fanatical, pretty obsessed. I suppose that's the way this gets people. This scene gets people like that. It gets, like I said, yourself, smart guy, but it can drag this smart people into this stuff, and before you know it, you're doing stuff. You're stating the obvious. You wonder why you're stating the obvious. There must be a purpose. Why are we doing this? What gives us the drive? And it's not to cure flat Earth or get rid of flat Earth. It's just to put more information out there for people to make their own choices and decisions instead of getting force-fed all this flat Earth shite that's saturated YouTube. I mean,
or you know, stupid shit like concave.
Oh fuck! No, what we're looking at, a fucking black ball of stars or some shit in the sky. What?
Some mental case running about pretending he's the reincarnation.
Have you seen some of his thumbnails for his picture? He's like, ah. He's going to click on a picture of a guy that's like, kind of like just for the thumbnail.
Did he get hit by a bus or something?
Aye. Jesus getting hit by a bus. Aye, fuck's sake.
Aye.
God's looking.
He walked again. Yeah, it's a miracle.
Yeah. That maybe proves he's Jesus because he survived.
Here's an idea. LSC is in the chat just now. I've got a wee suggestion for you, LSC. Why don't you go and walk on water and prove whether there's curvature there or no?
Walking in the middle of the sea. He's going on about that. He's talking about Metatron, and that's the website or the media company that's apparently behind Mark Sargent and Pat Steer. But see, when I looked into Metatron, it was like Metatron's cube, and it was a 2D drawing. They created a 3D shapes, like all the true shapes in 3D. The Metatron's cube, a spiky square, it had all these sides on it, and it was flat. It was 2D, but when you looked at it, it had the
Metatron, is that no the voice of God? Is that no something like that?
Something like it's to do with Judaism. It's to do with Judaism and stuff like that. There is a link there, but it's funny because, like I said, the Metatron's cube, it was like a complex 2D image that when you looked at it, 3D images were there, kind of like the cube, and things like that were there on this flat. It was like the flowery life kind of thing, and once you joined it all up, you got the Metatron's cube, and then this 3D image popped out. But the ironic thing about that is Flat Earth seems to be the opposite. It seems to be like them making a 3D image into 2D. Like they're doing the opposite. The Metatron was like a 2D image making 3D. They're creating a 3D image into 2D. And it seems to be backwards with the Flat Earthers. Anyway, that was my rant about Metatron.
Exactly it, mate. It is backwards.
Aye. Anyway, mate, I hope you have a good night. And I'll let you away now.
Aye. Oh, right.
So do you fancy joining a hangout soon? If I get a couple of guys who like me, Glenn, Vlad, somebody like that, I might throw Timmy in if he's good. If he stops sucking.
I'll bring a laugh track along with me and stuff like that, just to appease.
Aye. Just to break it up.
But no, that's cool, mate. It would be nice because I say it's good to get the evidence out there. But I know myself, you get bored yourself sitting going, click, look at this, click, look at that, click. You know what I mean? It is a bit much, but
we'll get people in to talk about our stuff and question us again and throw some stuff at us. Again, we'll both come on and we'll get people on to ask us about stuff, and then even diverge away from that, and we'll just talk about the shit that's happening with the personalities. You know what I mean? Because I like talking about the personalities. I do. It's cool. I'm a bit of a drama queen.
You wee bitch.
Hey, anyway, mate, I'm going to stop it now. So just piss off Ali C. Right?
I hope you're prepared for the next meeting because I'm going to fucking slap
you. Bring your biggest hand with you, mate. Because I've got a big fucking heat.
I will get Anthony Liley to order me one of these special dildos from America. It
have to be like one of the. It would have to be one of the tango hands, getting the big one. Because I've got a big fucking heat, mate. I've got a big heat. Right. Anyway, take care.
Hey, cheers again.
Hey, cheers for that, mate. Cheers.